the One Piece Podcast, episode 907 for the week of February 23rd, 2026. My name is Zach, and on today's show, I want to thank, first of all, everyone for coming on super last minute. Really had everything that you listen to meticulously planned ahead of time. Don't worry. We have very special guest translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump, Stephen Paul. How's it going, Stephen?
Very good. Just a normal dude, impossible to impersonate, as we found out last week.
Oh, you listened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of Alex's impression of you?
It was good. It was good, although I don't know what his the tick that he was doing. Or I was like, like he was doing like a Mad Max thing, like thing, and I'm not sure what that was about. I didn't think so, but I guess I'm learning things.
I want to hear a perfect impression of Stephen Paul one of these days. That's you just have such a completely like, I say this in a good slate. Way. Yeah, you have a completely there's no way I could have said that. I feel like that would have sounded positive.
Anywhere.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you're a voice chameleon. We also have joining us once again, Golfer Gare. How's it going, Golfer?
Howdy.
Welcome back. Our anime recap host, Sam Leach.
Hola.
That's what they say over there in Minnesota. Hola. Yeah. Anyway,
I wasn't prepared to meet you there.
And last but not least, joining me in this Blizzard-bound episode, Ken, to date us here, even though I said the date at the top, Ken O'Connor, our archivist. How's it going, Ken?
It is a cold one out there, Zach. It is a cold one. You nailed it on the head there.
Thank you. Now you sound like a jazz DJ or something.
Coming up next, Zach Logan with the Blizzard.
Wow. Ken. No, you're turning it a little into like
Go on.
Okay. No, I don't know. I'm done. That's the whole episode. That's all I had. Steven, what are we going to do today?
Yeah. Well, yes, you may have assumed going into this week that we would be doing the SGS, since this would be our normally scheduled time. But it turns out Greg is busy in the translation mines, the mines of Manga. And he is
that would have been the episode title.
Yeah, I'm keeping you.
Here.
Yeah, I'm keeping you guys on your toes again. Impossible to impersonate. But so we had to come up with an idea of what to do, and we remembered we do have the rest of this volume 20 of the One Piece magazine. A couple of weeks back, I did the interview with Oda. And I made very clear at the time that we were just doing this like front section, and there's a bunch more to go through, which is also fairly interesting. And so I did about an hour's worth of like flipping through it before we started, but that's about it. So this is going to be like the polar opposite of the last time, where I was I had a whole script that I just read from, but this time it will be a little more of the usual kind of just commenting on stuff, and we'll go through the rest of this magazine issue.
You don't have to listen to this episode before, but please listen to episode 901. Manga is something you create by yourself with that interview. Again, I don't think it's essential for the rest of this, but it's essential just generally. So yeah, give that a listen. I also have another surprise thing that I'm not going to tell people about just in case it really falls flat, but we'll see. I'm planning it.
I'm so curious. You were teasing this before the episode.
No, it's really predictable. It's really predictable.
Is it trivia? If you're building up trivia for all this,
you'll see. You'll see.
Pick a chapter number.
The thing is, everyone listening already knows the answer because they would just look in the description for the episode. But before we get started, a few things. Golfer, you and I, and Dr. Bentlin. And Kirsten Carey did an interview with Kat Abughazaleh, who's running in Illinois' 9th Congressional District. Can I throw that to you? Like, the thoughts now that it's been a few weeks and why people should listen?
Well, for one, it was just super cool in general. Two, I didn't realize the shape of the district. When she was like, it goes from here to here. I was like, well, let me go look up because I kept hearing that she was kind of neck and neck with some of the top folks. It's a pretty stacked primary at this point. There's like at least 8 names in there. And it's like it spans almost looks like the entirety of Chicago, going from one skinny side all the way to the other. And I've grown up my entire life in Texas seeing gerrymandered districts. I didn't realize they did that everywhere in the exact same way. But it was a really cool insight to get. A lot of the comments on the video from the interview were really cool and really insightful. And it was fun to see how many folks truly believe that One Piece is not political. It was great to see that responded from the audience, that it was this apolitical show that we're all enjoying.
And I hate to put this out there because I'm going to jinx it, but I don't think we've gotten like any negative, like at least any hostile comments. I haven't seen any. So now's your time. No, please don't. Please, for the love of God. Yeah, I know she uses as a microphone. Like I know you use the card you've mentioned, like a card game. She uses a like foam cutout of her district. I know as a microphone in some videos. It really does look like gerrymander is named after like a creature that, for those who care about the etymology of that term, is like it's so misshapen that it looks like this creature from beyond, and it does look kind of like that. I could anthropomorphize that district, I think, if I wanted to. Please, on that note, please listen to that interview. It was a lot of fun, and really we just need more leftist One Piece fans in Congress. I know that's very specific, but that's really all I could say. I mean, what else is there to say there?
The day we get a straw hat on the steps from a congressional member, that's when we know we've made it.
We've already gotten whatever those horn things were, like from 6 years ago, or from whatever, how many years ago, 5 years ago. Anyway, I'm sure we can. I'm sure it'll happen. Someone should ask AOC if she's a One Piece fan. Now that I've put that out there, I'm trying to think of like how many other like of our generation is, or even that would even be a possibility for. Anyway, check that out. Also, please subscribe to us on Patreon if you haven't. Patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. The Sticker of the Month Club is back. It's back every month. Ken, do you remember offhand what Steve? I think I remember.
Which one of the two? Did
it win, or is the poll closed?
I'll check right now. Keep vamping. I'll check.
Okay, the two. This was the two Luffys. It was the Luffy with the Pokemon-ish cards or Yu-Gi-Oh-ish cards. It predated, I think, the card game, and also Luffy eating the entire Earth, a la The Simpsons, the Brazil episode, I think.
Zach, the poll has ended, and Luffy's rare cards has won with 62%.
Wow. There you go. Well, that's this month. So if you want a sticker of Luffy with his rare cards, subscribe to us now. You have until the end of the month to get in on that. Otherwise, next month there'll be another poll, another sticker, $12 a month. That's it. And a lot more alternate episode titles, images from our amazing artists who have, like, Size image from last week blew me away. Yeah. I feel like that is a better image than that episode was great. Don't get me wrong, but like that was like, wow.
I love that the podcast art can be sometimes the weirdest, silliest reference, like the most out there thing. And then we have some beautiful, beautiful pieces by some of our artists. It's a real nice, like, dichotomy.
Like, I remember Steve, the Bonnie one, is the one that's popping into my mind right now as like a really nice, artistic piece. But yeah, check those all out. And also ad-free episodes, early episodes, all that fun stuff. I think that's it for our plugs, but we have some news on the One Piece end, from the minds of Manga, Steven. First, I guess we'll do Viz, as we discussed before we were getting on the air, I'm sure they keep you in the loop with all this, but volume 91, and they should also be giving Steven free copies of everything he works on, and it's really criminal that they don't. And we all said that, and we all agree. And we're not trying to pressure Viz, we're trying to really pressure Viz. Volume 91 through 111, the fourth box set?
The fifth one.
Fifth one.
The fifth. I have it right here. I should have probably just read. The fifth box set covering 91 through 111, that's Wano through Egghead, is coming out this fall. You're never going to be able to get it because it's coming with an exclusive One Piece card game playmat, and we'll talk more about that.
Oh, dear.
Oh, wait, is it really? I didn't see that part.
It is, and a double-sided poster, which is usual. That's usually included.
Yeah.
So if you want one of these, you better be quick. Or do what we do for the magazines, and so this is relevant to today's episode. If you want to get your hands on One Piece Magazine Volume 20, or probably this box set, wait until someone steals the card or card game related item, and then buy the rest of it that they don't care about on a third party, I guess, eBay or whatever. It's a shame, but the card game community really enjoys having things, which makes sense. I get that, but
it's crazy.
Need stuff too. Yeah, to be fair, very smart marketing from Viz. Not great for us, the non-card game One Piece fan. But yeah, the two of us, I think, Steven, you and me.
Yeah.
And the second big thing is that the volume 114 cover came out, featuring. Steven, do you want to? I'll let you.
Yeah. Well, I
describe.
think what we foretold has come to pass, right? It is indeed a non-Luffy volume cover, because this volume will be entirely flashback. It'll be entirely the Loki / God Valley flashback. In fact, it will be titled "The God Valley Incident" for whichever chapter that was. And so it's basically just the Rocks Pirates. Rocks front and center, and then arranged like family reunion photo style, smaller members in front, bigger ones in back, as you do.
A top down too. I think that's how a lot of family reunion photos are for big families.
Yeah, and there's kind of like a spotlight / like path, like a golden yellow brick road sort of thing that they're like
most family reunion photos.
Yeah, like that they're sort of walking on, that kind of guides your eye up the cover, and so it's I would say it is it's neat, it's interesting, like noteworthy in a historical sense, that it's like, oh, this is the first time we've not had Luffy on a cover, or at least not a what is it, like an extra 2 or 3 part cover, sort of theme cover, like the Baroque Works one, or the
Dressrosa.
Dressrosa.
The Onigashima 100.
Yeah, the 99 111. Yeah. This one is just a single cover. But I will say it is like the layout, it is kind of just like, oh yeah, that just looks exactly like if you had told me, imagine if Oda just drew all the Rocks Pirates characters like in one blob. This is kind of what I would imagine. It didn't really surprise me at all, and it is a very yellowish, like just all the blonde characters plus Prometheus, and all of the skin tones are very yellow as well. So
and the logo.
Yeah, and the logo. So it seems like it's like sort of channeled down into a very select group of colors, which makes it feel a bit limited to me. But
I'd be remiss. I think we've talked about this a few times with volume covers, but I'll start with someone on Blue Sky mentioned, where is Rox's melanin? And that is a fantastic question. I think Oda has just one. We've talked about it. I feel like just like the same skin tone for all of his characters recently, or very similar. I'm the colorblind person, so it's actually difficult for me to see. But
he's never really differentiated the skin tones.
Was King differentiated at all? I feel like he's the only one we could point to.
Not even that much.
On the volume, on the cover, he has the same skin tone as everyone else on the volume.
Yeah, that's maybe like the most obvious. Like, yeah, they probably should have changed, because that is different in the black and white manga.
It's bizarre. Like, I have a feeling Oda isn't even thinking about it. Like, he probably, maybe he is.
No, I don't think he does.
Like, I remember there was a little bit of a, because like he did like a drawing for the season 2 recent announcements, and he did a little doodle of like Luffy and Vivi, and like clearly it's like Luffy's supposed to look a little bit like Iñaki, like he does that sometimes.
Right.
And like Vivi, like I did notice that it's like one shade darker for Vivi because the actress is but like people were still like pointing out, we're still making fun of that because it's like still barely any different.
Right.
Yeah.
But I did get the impression like he did like move the shade like one notch darker.
Yeah.
Like it did feel intentional, but still.
I have a feeling, and not that it's not that it's an excuse, but maybe it's an explanation. I feel like he just does not even it doesn't even enter his brain. I use that example because I feel like that's the example where he must have been thinking about it,
right?
But
still it's nothing. I mean, King is like literally, as Golfer mentioned. Like that's literally like a plot point. You would think that would we can't get worse than that. So I can't complain more than we did when that volume came out. But it is something that's kind of soured. I feel like it's gotten worse more recently too. This does feel like
it doesn't help. Like the colorism of the anime has been really.
Yeah, they also whitewashed it a lot more versus the early Robin, for example, lost all of her color.
As Snake always being way lighter than the other Seraphim.
Yeah, well, and also, I mean, I know we've mentioned this before, but the entire reason Robin was darker in the anime to begin with was because she started off as a villain. So
I forgot about that.
There is that angle as well.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah, but yeah.
Well, I thought that was just because the early anime designs had way more variety, and
they did.
That's what a lot of people are using as their reference point for what they wish the characters look like now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry to take us down a rabbit hole, but that was a comment I saw, and I'm like, it's true though.
That's a more interesting discussion than whatever else you can say about this cover. It's just
I was going to say,
just kind of is
the second most important thing. The box is still gone. Where's the box? Why is no one asking? Where's the box? Yeah.
Are we done with the box?
I think Oda has just abandoned. For those who don't know, this is my stupid thing that I've been complaining about recently. That all the volumes have a box. Even if everyone busts out of the box, you could still usually see a little of it. Sometimes they're all covered. But here, he's just not even put the box in recently.
Yeah,
he doesn't care about the box.
Now, right?
Yeah, this is twice in a row, I think.
Oh, I see what you mean.
We might be done with the box then. Maybe that's a choice.
Well, he is fitting. Box. He is trying to fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
But on the bottom there, the box would have been on the bottom there, like a line.
Like the box is always there, no matter how crowded.
I think what annoys me about it is now I'm just being OCD about this. Is that every single volume has had it. And then all of a sudden, that started at 114 or whatever it is, 112. I don't feel like doing it now. What? I don't know. It just baffles me.
Did he forget Stussy?
Yes, he did forget her. Is
Shame.
it Stussy or Stussy? I always thought.
Stussy,
okay.
Probably.
Yeah. No, I mispronounce things, so I want to make sure. But I don't love this one. Also, what's his face is completely covered, a la Robin in most of the Viz volumes, by the title. I forget his name. To be fair,
right?
Barbell. Yeah, I think that's right.
You got the Mike Wazowski.
He's getting Wazowski. Yeah,
he is getting Wazowski. Yeah.
How could Oda forget what's his name?
Look, it's not that I need to see his face. It's that why even put it there if it's going to get covered like that? Oda does know in his, when he sketches it, where the logo goes. I mean, obviously, Whitebeard's scabbard or whatever you call it.
But again, why make the logo gold if you're going to put the character with blonde hair, right where the logo is?
The whole thing is bizarre.
And why give the guy gold armor? There's way too much yellow and gold in this cover.
I don't know if we've talked about. Yeah. I love the colors that Viz is using for Elbaf, the green and pink.
I have to look at those. Do we have a volume out already from Elbaf?
They did show the Viz version of.
I have to look at that.
At least the first one.
I haven't looked.
With Luffy and the group huddle.
Yeah, I like, it's not, I don't want it to make it, I know everyone thinks we have a lot of God Valley hate on this podcast. It's not that. I just feel like the execution of this one was kind of not great.
It's perfectly serviceable. Like, I understand why it's a big Rocks cover. Do it like I don't know. Like it. Like I think it's fine that it's just kind of serving a role here.
I don't like how he did the scaling per se, because like you can see like the characters in front, their full body, then like Kaido, Big Mom, and
yeah, they're like through the floor.
Yeah, like through the floor. Like it looks like he only did like their like, he didn't draw their full bodies obviously, but it looks like it's only like their bust up kind of thing, and they don't really line up where they would be.
As a tall guy in group shots.
Sam is a tall guy. He's as tall as Steve, by the way, for those who don't know. So when I took a picture with the two of them, I look like a tiny, tiny, tiny person like this.
Sometimes you have to like stand, you have to like kneel on a chair to like not look weird in the back row.
Yeah, no, I get that. Just, it
tell me
it
about
looks
it, Sam.
awkward here.
Yeah, I feel like this is like kind of a missed opportunity, kind of like there's a lot of good stuff here that's just very chaotically put together. Like, I don't think this is going to be one of the ones I look back at more fondly. Like, I personally, more in a composition sort of way than any, particular artistic issue, or like, I really like the Big Mom Whitebeard kind of dynamic happening there. Like, Big Mom leaning on him and him being like, get the hell off of my shoulder. That I really enjoy. And usually I do the covers I like the most are the ones with personality and like a thing happening, or if it's just all the Straw Hats being happy. Those are like my two top design choices. But I'll say for Greg having was it Streisand in the front? Streisand. I think, doesn't Greg say Streisand?
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, so he's the wrong one. That's what Ken's saying. I didn't say it. I didn't say it, Greg.
All right, Greg.
So Streisand, like, having a more formidable role kind of feels more possible with the fact that for some reason he is in the front of this. But I can't imagine the person who has no context to this and what they're thinking with like Shiki and seeing Kaido and Big Mom and Whitebeard on the cover of a volume in the year 2026 must be really confusing if you have no context.
Didn't we have a young Whitebeard in a Flashback volume cover like 10 volumes ago?
That was more than 10.
The Odin Flashback, so yeah, that'd been a while ago.
That was like almost 20, I think. Believe it or not. I think that was like 90.
Whitebeard's always a central character.
To be fair, he is. Look at that beautiful hair. Look at it, Sam.
I'm seeing it.
You have very similar hair, so I think I could say that. When it's long and sorry, Sam, I didn't mean to make it about your hair. Any other comments on the cover that we talked about too long?
That's sexual harassment, Zach.
I think Whitebeard wears the hats to hide his bald spot.
Oh, male pattern baldness.
Yeah,
just has the ring on the top.
Yeah. Even when he takes the hat off, it's like, oh, there's a bandana on under there. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Which volume is it, Ken?
96 has young Whitebeard on it.
See, I like that one a lot more. That's that one's also not like a great one. I also was really expecting Luffy to somehow force his way into this. I'm shocked that he wasn't. Okay,
couldn't do it. That's why he was the missing ingredient.
By the way,
doesn't pop.
It covers 1155 through 1166. 1166 is the one where he pulls the horns off. 1155 is the one. Wow, it is all flashback time. It's where Loki and Baby Loki and Rocks. Baby Rocks and Loki are talking. Anyway, that's it about that. We'll have our SBS coverage on it, and we'll talk about for another 20 minutes the cover. In a few weeks. It comes out March 4th.
Yeah, that's right. They usually put it where it's like just a week or two away from release. So,
and I think Steve's in Japan right now, so if he could stay there until March 4th to pick up that volume, that would be great for everyone. Bring enough for the whole crew. Anyway, on that note, let's talk about volume 20 of the magazine, or the rest of it. This is the manga recap for the second half of Volume 20, Weekly Shonen Jump and One Piece. You could get this volume of One Piece magazine number 20 if you have $500 or are willing to purchase it elsewhere without the trading card. And then it's only a couple of bucks. But we're going to do our best to paint word pictures, and that is Steven's, not just his forte, his profession.
A word painter.
So, Steven, why don't you do a little bit of last time on the One Piece podcast, and then we'll...
Yes. If you did listen to that episode, which, once again, you really should, you may recall that I was very clear. We said multiple times we were just going over this like front section of the magazine, and that there was a bunch more that was pretty cool. And so we are literally going to start with the very next thing after the interview with Oda, which is this quite thick booklet that appears in the middle of the magazine, and it is the One Piece magazine special booklet 20, and the cover describes it as uncollected in the volumes. It is the extra stories Jump double issues manga collection. And so this is all sorts of like little 4-panel manga and bonus illustrations and things that Oda would have done for specifically the seasonal, because you know the 4 double issues, as we call them, that happen throughout the year, you know, in order to like kind of make them more special for people, since they're going to be waiting, you know, an extra week to get the next issue. They will get, you know, sort of seasonal little bonus material from a lot of the artists. So, you know, there will be springtime stuff in the Golden Week issue. There will be summertime stuff in the Obon, like sort of late summer, early fall issue. And then there's 2 at the end of the year. So that's New Year's. And so there's a lot of, you know, celebratory stuff for the New Year's holiday. And so that stuff doesn't really get collected. I don't even know if I've seen these. There might be some of these in like either the color walks or some random, you know, data book of some kind. You know, there are a lot of sort of bonus One Piece books that have been published throughout the years. But some of these are actually quite funny. I mean, if you've ever read like any of Oda's 4-panel manga, you know that he really does have quite a skill for it. And not only are they funny, but they're also adorable to boot, because he always draws them in those little chibi versions. I think everybody's seen the something time, like the Obahan time, and all of those. I know those are favorites of Zach's and the rest of the crew. But I thought I would, you know, pick out a couple of these to describe to you as an example. So like the very first one here, and these are just, you know, they're all attributed. So this one would have been from 2009. It is a New Year's 4-panel thing. And it has Nami, and she is with Luffy, Chopper, and Brook, and they're all decked out in their adorable kimonos. And she's like, "Oh, Happy New Year, everybody! Here are your otoshidama." That's like your New Year's allowance, where they put the cash in a little envelope and they give it to the kids. And the other 3 are like, "Oh, yay!" And Nami is like, "Oh, but, you know, this is very important. You don't want to lose it. So I'll just hold on to these for you, okay?" And then she like takes the envelopes and just tucks them right into her kimono. And Luffy's like, "Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks for doing that for me." And then they proceed to have a big New Year's feast, and they're like, yeah, they're celebrating. It's just a big shot of the Sunny. oh yeah, we're gonna get osechi, we're gonna have mochi, we're gonna have all the New Year's stuff. And then the last panel is like in March, and Luffy, Chopper, and Brook are all fishing at the side of the boat. And Luffy's like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And, Brook is like harassing. He's like, what color panties are you wearing, Robin? So they've completely forgotten that Nami just pocketed all of the money that she was supposedly giving them. And so it's a little New Year's, New Year's gag. There's another one with, where they're playing the sort of, it's kind of like pin the tail on the donkey, but it's like the make the face with when you're blindfolded, and they take all the facial features, and so they're supposed to be making Chopper's face, and everybody's laughing it up. Luffy's blindfolded, he's trying to put down the eyes and the nose and the mouth and everything, and they're all laughing, but you can't actually see what he's putting down. And then finally in the last panel, like Chopper's like, let me see, and Chopper's laughing because he thinks it's hilarious. He's like, oh, the eyes look so funny. But like if you actually see it, like all the features make it very clear that it is actually a tanuki. It is not a reindeer. And so you would expect Chopper to like flip out about that. But like Chopper doesn't even realize that it's a tanuki. So he sort of misses the joke opportunity. So lots of little fun things like that. Let's see, were there any other good ones? I liked this one, which is, what was this for? This would have been the probably the Golden Week for 2017. It was a special little bonus manga where Luffy, he's now wearing a samurai helmet, which is a kabuto. And he's like, I'm going to quit being Straw Hat Luffy, and now I'm going to be Kabuto Luffy. I'm going to be Helmet Luffy. And you see like Frankie, Robin, and Nami are just giving them like the most disappointed looks. Like Frankie is just giving him like the dead, like sunglasses, like frowning look, like, And Robin is like, that doesn't sound good. And Nami says, don't do that. It sounds like an insect. Because Kabuto Mushi is like the rhinoceros beetles, and then Luffy, Chopper, and Usopp are all like tilting their heads. They're like, "Huh? Like what are you talking about?" Luffy's like, "Don't do it because it sounds like an insect. What am I supposed to take away from that?" And Usopp's like, "You're saying like don't do it because it's cool." So yeah, they don't get it at all. What else do we have?
The Peter Parker meme, you don't need to sell me on it.
Yeah. On the next page, there is a beach. There's a beach episode thing where they're going to do the watermelon splitting, and where they put the watermelon on the beach, and then they put the blindfold on. They spin you around, and you have a bat, and then like you have to stop and try to smash the watermelon, but you can't see it, and you're dizzy, so you don't know which way you're pointing. And so they're like, oh yeah, we're going to do that. But the watermelon is gone, and there's a suspiciously large and round Luffy sitting on the beach and burping. And he's like, yeah, that was a really good watermelon. And then in the third panel, they have buried him up to his neck. So just his head is sticking out of the sand. And then like all the rest of the crew is like, all right, who's going to go first? And Luffy's like, what, you're gonna split my head you're gonna play the watermelon splitting with my head? Like, that's fine, it's not gonna hurt me, because of course you hit it with a rounded bat, it's just gonna bounce off of him. And then he turns his head around to look in the last panel, and like all of them have like gigantic knives or like spiked bats, and Zoro has his 3 swords, and Luffy's like, so I'm being executed.
Chopper with the gigantic mace, like, bat is the funniest fucking thing. I like, it's like completely out of character. Now they all have. Who's the one with the scythe? Is that Usopp? There's like one with an actual.
That's Usopp, yeah.
Oh my god, hilarious.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
They're just gonna leave Luffy there for high tide and let him drown.
Wow.
Right.
They're not waiting for it.
Yeah, let's see. I don't want to go through everyone. They're here. I'll go to the next page. where we have some Christmas themed ones.
That's old Chopper. I miss 2004 Chopper. That's
that one's funny. Although there isn't really a gag to it. It's just Luffy, Santa, Luffy, and Chopper.
As the resident Grinch, though, it's nice to see that era.
Yeah,
but
the very next one after that is from 2010, where you see the crew of 9 with Brooke, but not Jinbei yet. And this one is titled Merry, and they're all in their like Christmas outfits, and they're sharing a big toast. They're like, "Merry Christmas!" And then Usopp is like, he's taken off like the weird like Groucho Marx glasses, and he's like looking down, and he's like, "Merry," and they're like, "Oh no!" And then they're all flashing back to like Mary burning up and being like, "Thank you for taking care of me," and they're all like depressed, going, "Merry Christmas." And then Zoro, of course, the only pragmatic one, is like, "God, you're so sad. Like, why are you so sad?" And yelling at them. And I guess one last one, since this one obviously needs to be described, is the Santa buggy one, titled Buggy Christmas. That's pretty good. Merry Christmas, Buggy Christmas. And he says, so he's dressed up like Santa, and he's got Moji and Kabaji dressed up in like reindeer kigus, basically. And he's saying, "Okay, we're gonna do our ingenious plan here. We're gonna go to all the houses after Santa's been there, and we're gonna help ourselves to all the presents." And they're like, "Oh yeah, way to go, Captain." And so Buggy is now inside. He's got his sack, and he's just helping himself to the presents in the little kids' bunk beds, like just taking them right out of their stockings. And he's like, "Hey, I got some more." And then someone screams like, "Thief! Thief! Give back the chicken and the cake!" Which, if you are familiar with Japanese Christmas, fried chicken and like a strawberry cake is like their traditional Christmas meals.
Oh, like the KFC thing.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's their version of like Hallmark Valentine's Day, basically. Where the company just basically invented the tradition for them, and everybody loves it now. And Buggy's like, "Wait a second, I didn't eat any food. Like, I didn't take anybody's food." And then you see the real Santa, which is Luffy, of course, and he and Chopper are both munching on some chicken and cake as they fly through the air on their sled. So it's a cute one. But yeah, there's a bunch more. Actually, I lied. There's one more that's really funny. Almost at the end here. I don't know if Zach, you'll be able to find it. It's like the second to last grouping of pages. On the right,
the 2000 one, right?
Yes, yeah. This was actually not even from a Jump thing. It was something called E-Jump. It was at the end of 1999. They put out a magazine plus a set of 2 CD-ROMs. And it was a year 2000 themed extra special bonus thing. And so Oda drew this thing, very, very early One Pieces. You can definitely tell from looking at the art. And they're like, "Oh, here, I can see it. It's the year 2000 island." And Nami is like, "It's a legendary island. They say that there's there's actually 2,000 treasure chests stuffed with gold that are, glinting out of the darkness." And so Luffy's like, "Oh, cool. Let's go search for treasure." And then you see, a very typical treasure chest looking thing with a big shining effect over it. And they're like, "Oh, there it is. It's the gold in the darkness." And then it is revealed to actually be Gaimon in the chest. And he's like pulling on his lip because he's like, "Hey, I haven't seen you guys in a while. Check it out. I got a gold tooth put in." And he has a gold tooth, and then there's a big arrow that says like "Fool's Gold" on it. And they're like, "It was you." And apparently this was right around the time that the One Piece anime was starting, because there's even a comment from Oda there in the his 1999, where he's like, "Wow, They say that 1999 was going to be this big year. It's at the end of the millennium. Something crazy is going to happen." And well, it turns out I got an anime. So check out the the end of the millennium anime, please, as you read my series.
The glint in Gaimon's hair looks like the Smash Bros logo for a second.
Yeah, it's
Gaimon
a
is
big
here.
cross. Yeah, that would be a good one. But anyways, we'll leave that there for the booklet. Even though there's more goodies in there and very rare illustrations and stuff. But the next we have some actual full-sized manga. The first one I'll just very briefly glance over because I actually translated this for Jump because I think this was back. This was 2017, and so I think this was pre like the current evolution of Shonen Jump. Is that right, Zach?
When we still had the magazines. I do kind of remember this one.
I think it was in the digital magazine before they had like the vault and the all the chapters are sort of loose on, you read them all separately. This was back when Viz's version was an actual, like, everything is all in one magazine.
Digital, but
yeah. But this was like a Memories of Oda done by Shimabukuro, the author of Toriko and other series. I won't really go through it since I don't know. History lesson, if you didn't know, Shimabukuro, his first series, which is a big hit prior to Toriko, got canceled because he was caught engaging in or patronizing, I should say, the practice of enjo kosai, which is when like high school teenage girls engage in prostitution with older men who have money, and he was found partaking in that. So they canceled his series and then brought him back later, and gave him a chance to be a star again. And so it's kind of a don't know how to feel about that guy really, but he has a long history with Oda as friends and such, and so there is a lot of that. Like I said, I had to translate this for Shonen Jump when that came out, and so if you were a subscriber, you probably still have access to that. I don't know where it is, but it's in there somewhere. More interesting, however, we have another artist manga, and this one is by Takamasa Moe, the artist for Akane Banashi, who I did not realize before this. He was an assistant for Oda on One Piece. So that was news to me. That was very exciting, little, worlds colliding, so to speak. Not that would be that rare, since I'm sure half the people in Jump at this point probably have some kind of assistant ties to Oda, if they've been around long enough. This one is really cool. And of course, as always, he draws Oda with the fish head, which is the only way that he should be depicted, as is right. And so Moe says, okay, all of you beloved readers won't be. So I'll just go through this whole thing because it's not too long. What sort of an impression do you have of the author Eiichiro Oda Sensei? I'm sure you've seen through his many media interviews and such that he seems to be a very funny guy with the heart of a young boy. But in my case, I have seen him from three different perspectives: that of a fan, that of an assistant, and that of, technically speaking, a serialized author alongside him. And so I am going to talk about these topics. I'm going to talk about the true terror of Eiichiro Oda as a mangaka. Now, when I say terror, and I'll keep using this because this is a theme throughout this thing, the nuance is slightly different in Japanese. It's kind of like terror as in like the awe-inspiring nature of him. So it's frightening in the sense of like, oh my God, how can anyone do this? Sort of a sense. So that's what Moe will be talking about. And so he says, yes, I was like many other, as an elementary school boy, I was a One Piece fan like any other, where I would go to the pool and I would practice my shark on darts, which is the the attack where Arlong shoots up out of the water and tries to impale Luffy. So a number of years later, the winds of fate just happened to blow me into the position of being an assistant on One Piece. And now, once again, very luckily, I am a fellow artist in Jump drawing the manga Akane Banashi, which that's a 2-man team. There's a writer, and he does the art for it. He says, I of course have many fond and fun memories of Oda-san when I was his assistant. So he draws a bunch of little pictures here. There's a picture of them playing futsal, which is like I guess it's like indoor soccer basically. They were doing a rakugaki contest, or like a doodling contest, so they're all just kind of sitting at a table hunched over, like doodling some pictures or something. They had a Christmas party, and they're all doing cheers and holding up their drinks, and then having a barbecue. And Oda's like hunched over the grill with his like skewers, like very excited, having yakiniku, and they're all sitting around the table with the grill, laughing and eating a gigantic piece of meat. And there's like an enormous, like, it looks like a lamb shank, but it's probably like an ox shank or something like that. It's just this huge, huge limb of meat, and they all look shocked. So lots of memories involving meat. He says, but this time, the editor came to me and said, please draw something about how you feel about Oda as a fellow artist. So somewhat in the same magazine as him. So he's going to talk about the true terror of Eiichiro Oda as a mangaka, as seen by another mangaka. And so he starts off with this memory of being an assistant. He says, for some reason, the terror is that he's somehow bizarrely energetic. And so there's all the assistants. They're like, oh, we finished the chapter. And they're all slumped over their desks, and they all look exhausted. They're sweaty. At the end of a chapter, all the assistants are completely wiped out. At the time, I was in my early 20s. Even I was totally exhausted. And then there's a little arrow pointing to him that says, like, didn't actually do that much work. But he's like, whoo. And then Oda here like raises a fist. He's like, we're done with the chapter. We're done with the chapter. Hey, what do you guys want to eat? You want sushi? You want meat? Should we get hamburgers? If we can't decide, do you want to get all three? So he's like rushing around. He's like super excited. And Moe's like, what? How is the guy who has the hardest job of all, like the most lively? He's the most hyper of all of us. And he's devouring a yakiniku bento on an all-nighter. So he's like, yeah, delicious. And so yeah, he's super energetic. That was the first instance when I felt that Oda-san was truly terrifying. On the next page, his schedule is terrifying. And so he points out the schedule for a weekly author is very tough. You have storyboards, then you have the chapter, then you have color pages, and you have the tankobon work, so all the volume extras and whatever else you have to do. He's like, yeah, this is enough. Everybody's like completely jam-packed with their schedules. But if you're an even more popular mangaka, then you have the storyboards, you have the chapter, you have the color, you have the volume extras, you have the anime check, you have the merchandising check. And in Oda's case, you have the storyboards, you have the chapters, you have the color pages, you have the volume work, which includes the SBS and the Usopp Gallery Pirates, all that stuff. You have the anime check, you have the merchandising check, you have the movies, you have the live action series, and then in parentheses, this schedule for 28 years. And he says, I asked him once, now that I've had a series, I've done a series of my own for a little bit, I can actually imagine these sort of things, but like, isn't the One Piece schedule kind of crazy? And Oda is sort of like he's kind of laughing. He's like slapping his head. And he's like, yeah, I know, but if all of a sudden I started having more time on my hands, I would realize, wow, One Piece really fell off. Like people aren't as interested in it anymore. So that's a real nerve-wracking thought to have. So, he just keeps the pedal to the metal all the time. And Moe says, what does that even mean? It's terrifying. He continues, his curiosity and his drive to succeed are terrifying. He says, I imagine like, oh, if I could draw a manga that was a super hit like One Piece and was super duper good, I would just be completely full of myself. And he's picking his nose. He's got this fantasy where he's like doing like the Buddha sit, and he's like levitating above the crowd, and they're all like, Moe, Moe, Moe. And, he's just on top of the world. And he says, but in Oda's case, and so Oda's drawing, he's hunched over, he's scribbling something. He's like, yeah, I was testing out some new like color combinations of stuff. And yeah, I found this really nice shade that I really like. I'm going to use it now. And the next panel, he's sitting there with a cup of coffee, and there's like bags under his eyes. And he's like, I wanted to get some new ideas and some good reference material for Germa's transformation scene. So I was watching all these anime with all the transforming scenes and checking them out, one after the other. And then even on the toilet, and yes, it does picture the infamous shark toilet, the toilet with the shark head over it on the wall.
That's such good detail.
Yeah. And Moe's like, what? Whoa, there's a stack of books in here. And he's like, Oda reads books on the toilet.
Wait, there's a stack of books in this shark toilet.
Yeah, that's the thing he notices. And yeah, then he drew Oda like sitting on a toilet. Just, yeah, interesting. As he reads his books. And yeah, so 28 years of drawing this incredible manga, and yet he's not full of himself. He's not coasting on his success. It's terrifying. Then the last set of pages here, he says, it is also terrifying and heartening that he, takes the time to think about us. And so all the assistants are hanging out. It's like one day, oh yeah, I heard, blah, blah, blah manga. When the series was over, the sensei took all the assistants out on a vacation. And they're like, what? And then they're all like rushing up to Oda, like, Oda-san, take us on a vacation too. And he has little like parentheses, like, sorry for being such, ingrateful assistants or like greedy assistants. And Oda's like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Let's, we'll all go on a vacation. And they're like, yeah, woo, yeah, awesome. But he's just kind of standing there. He's clearly not on the same level as the rest of them. And Moe's like, huh? Was that like, did we cross the line? Did we go a little overboard there? And Oda's like, yeah, it's just, by the time One Piece is over, I was hoping you guys would all be saying, oh, we're too busy with our own series to go on vacation with you. So, he wants them to be successful. Moe continues, this was after my own. So Moe, before he drew Akane Banashi, he did a series. We talked about this before. Ole Golazo was the name of the series. It was like a one and done, finished in like 10 or 12 chapters or something like that. It was a soccer manga. And that was, when did we find out that was? That was like 2015 or 16 or something like that.
Yeah, we looked it up last time, I think.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And so apparently he went back to work with Oda in between getting to work on that and Akane Banashi. And so he had already experienced, getting his series canceled. But he's like, man, that just made me realize, man, I got to get back out there. I got to get in there again. And he says the most terrifying thing of all is wondering, by the time One Piece is over, will I be able to, will I be ready to have my own series? And then his little gag is like, even if I am drawing my own series, I'll go with you. And he's like, what? And so, yeah, that's his little manga. There's also some commentary in the back, which had a few interesting nuggets. from Moe, where he explains that like the way that he got to become an assistant for Oda is that his editor was having a meal with the One Piece editor at the time, whatever year that would have been. And then they needed an extra person. So apparently Oda was just like, hey, can you come tomorrow? Can you send me anyone tomorrow? And so he just got this, offer right out of the blue. And he says he worked the period that he was working, minus the parts where he actually left to try that series that he had that didn't last very long, was from the end of the Kurita Coliseum in Dressrosa through the Katakuri fight in Whole Cake Island, which is a really interesting detail because I know we've heard about like, oh, this artist has been, the artist was an assistant on One Piece. This artist was an assistant on One Piece, but I don't think I've ever heard like, oh, there was specifically from this point in the story to this point in the story.
Yeah, that's new.
So that's kind of neat to learn that level of detail.
Yeah, I think we talked about last time how rarely we even hear about like what the assistants do, the fact that they don't really get credited, at least in the same way that we would think they should, except that they might be in the back of a volume, maybe, as like a thank you, right? I think you said something like that. Some
artists will do that. One Piece does not do that.
The Shaquille O'Neal thing, we know.
Yeah. Yes, that did happen. But I would say it's not necessarily standard. Probably the majority of series don't have like a special credit. It just kind of depends on.
The only time I remember seeing it was what was Fujimoto's work before Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah, I think
Fire Punch.
Fire Punch.
At the end of Fire Punch, he has a couple of them on the last like credit page of a volume.
Yeah,
they do a ton of work, and we always talk about like how amazing the assistants' work is because it's anything that isn't moving or like what is
for
it,
One
like
Piece
anything that's not a character, basically. Yeah, for One Piece, like background, which One Piece background work is like universally incredible. For at least for as long as I can remember.
It is pretty rare. I know that some like obviously. Greg has known some of the assistants and like, been in contact with them at various points. That probably fluctuates throughout the years, but
I met one in the 2013 when we did the documentary, and I know it was like I don't know if it was like secret at the time, but it was like I don't think it's something that was talked about like a ton.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's like classified information, but it's not like something you go and you like. Oh, One Piece,
right? And I was gonna say like that Greg has like known some of these things, but then it's like, oh well, I can't like publicly acknowledge that because it's not really been like an open secret or anything like that.
It feels very. I mean, I guess it's up to the artist as to whether that's something they want to promote, but I feel like that should be something.
Yeah, I think it's
a credit. It's something you work on.
You tend to only hear it, I think, when the assistant becomes a successful artist on their own, and they'll talk about it and they'll say like, oh, I have this history with this artist. But I think I would imagine that maybe like if you're not at that stage, it would be sort of seen as like a bit of like careerism sort of a thing of like, oh, you're using or someone is trying to build you up into something bigger, like, oh, this was a protege of this artist, when it's really more of a personal relationship sort of a deal. So I would imagine that's probably a factor as for why we don't hear about it more. He has a funny story about after he's like, they asked him like, how what kind of conversations have you had with Oda since Akane Banashi started? And he says, when I just started as an assistant, so back in the day, he and then he had his short series. He managed to see Oda, and he was like, they made a promise. They made an agreement, like, oh yeah, I have to come back and get a signature from you, get a little illustration, a signboard, and all that stuff. And after the first year of Akane Banashi, so that had been about 50 chapters or so, he went to Oda to get that, and Oda was like, work on it for another year. If you try hard for another year, then I'll give you one. And so he's like, I realized he was just, he was giving me motivation. He was spurring me onward for, another year. And he says, yes, but the next year's party, I did get it from him. So, a little bit of gamesmanship there. And he says what One Piece means to him. He's like, I feel like I was extremely blessed to have been in my late years of elementary school. So probably like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, from the Arlong arc through the Alabasta arc. It was just, I was blessed. I was, I can still vividly remember how completely obsessed I was with everything that was happening in the manga at the time. And here I am, I'm a mangaka now. So, you can tell what an influence it had on him. And he says, but it was also very bad luck and very bad timing that the Paramount War was happening when I was trying to take entrance exams for college. So I'm not sure if that was just like depressing or if that was just he couldn't concentrate on studying.
Because I think I was in law school during. I mean, I was doing the podcast. I was in law school during that. So I relate. Yeah.
I can't concentrate. Whitebeard's shattering the world right now.
Yeah, I know. It's like, come on, what am I supposed to do here?
They just died. Don't you get it?
He's dead.
We have bigger problems right now.
I wrote that on my LSAT, and I don't know. They didn't like it for some reason.
Yeah, and then he rounds it out with a nice little comment. They ask him, now that Oda Sensei is starting on his 29th year of One Piece, what would you say to him as a comrade in Jump? And he's like, well, I don't know, to be comrades in that sense, like, I feel like he's just on a completely different level. If anything, he's the one who's like sort of pulling up the rest of Jump along with him. But he says, as far as for me personally, I hope to do well enough that it doesn't feel like Oda is, on his own island off by himself. I want to be in range so that he's not completely alone in terms of quality. So, as an apprentice and as a reader, I hope he stays healthy and everything. I can't imagine what it's like being in the 29th year of telling the same story. That's pretty phenomenal. So yeah, I wanted to single that one out because that's obviously
for Zach,
very nice.
Yes, for me, yeah,
and for Zach, yeah, that's
as the Akane Banashi fan. So Akane Banashi, the anime is starting April. So in April, I forget the date.
This April?
Yeah, and for those who haven't,
2026.
For those who have 2026. For those who have not read it though, it is a very fast read and it's great. Like. They're almost at 200 chapters, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's been just about 4 years. We're almost at 200.
For those who are used to One Piece paces, it will take you a quarter of the time that you think it will take you to read. It's great.
Steve,
and the art is phenomenal.
You've been translating that since the start, right, Steven?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Steven, you have to tell the artist that you happen to be doing.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to,
if you ever meet him,
to talk about. Yeah, it is funny. Like, it's funny too to think about, like, if Akane were to go on like indefinitely because of the pace, it would eventually, like, the number of chapters that I've translated, it would eventually match the number of One Piece chapters.
Oh yeah, because there's like no breaks.
Yeah, there's no breaks for Akane, and in fact,
it's really crazy.
It's often like extra pages. Like, usually a typical Jump chapter is 19 pages, and it's often 21, 22.
And this week I saw you had to translate a haiku in addition to that for the chapter.
Yes.
Yeah. So read a kind of banana.
That's easy, but yeah.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know if I'm assuming it involves more localization, but yeah, go ahead.
A little bit. But yeah, we also have.
Are these all his old comments?
Yes, there's a selection.
Oh, Greg.
It is just a selection of Oda's comments in the Jump issues that span pretty much the whole series. It starts in 97.
It's not all of them. It's just like selected ones. Yeah,
It's just a certain
if you want the early years, I will again. What is it? thegrandline.com/onepiece.html. So this gives you an idea.
Yeah.
And I think you go to, what is it?
Like TOC or something like that, table of contents.
Yeah, I think, what does he call it though? Deep Thoughts. That's why we called that segment that.
Oda's Deep Thoughts.
Oda's Deep Thoughts.
Yes.
That's how we found out that he was indeed a Final Fantasy nerd before realizing all the parallels with Elbaf and that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's they're all fun comments. Obviously, Oda's comments are very fun, and the reason that repository is such a useful place to see things is it really is like a time capsule where he just talks about, oh, here's the latest thing that I saw on TV or whatever from 1999.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our guest from, is that last week or 2 weeks ago? Time is, Isaiah Colbert wrote this amazing article for Aftermath about how I think he also said something along the lines of like all social media should be like Shonen Jump author comments. I think that's actually a new article he did, because the other one was about the fish identity and all those. But I 100% agree, because Shonen Jump comments are always, if not entertaining, very confusing.
Right. They are the original, like the original Twitter, like, just what sort of a goofy comment can you fit in the shortest space possible? That's what it was.
That's what the character limit was good for. Yeah. It made you like,
God, you have to go back.
Every word.
You have to go back.
What if you could share pictures of your food, but you just had to describe it with words instead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bizarre. Which is actually like half of Oda's comments are that.
Yeah.
Let me describe this food I ate.
Right. Yeah. I'm just looking at this one. I'm looking at this one right now. It's crazy how good Krispy Kreme donuts are.
True.
What is this miracle that is happening inside my mouth? That's
oh my God. But there's nothing that could make me respect you more than that. Although Mr. Donut is in Japan, I mean, come on. You're spoiled for choice there. They got some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So that's obviously
more
fun.
Donut talk later.
Yeah. There are some like celebrity interviews, which obviously they're all Japanese celebrities. So this is really more interesting if you actually know who these people are.
Do you know any of them?
The first one, Kendo Kobayashi, I do know him. He's a very popular comedian, veteran guy. I'm sure he's played like one of the movie characters or something in some of the One Piece movies. He's a big manga fan. He's talked about Jump manga all the time. And he has done, I forget, I think he may have been like the model for Senior Pink or something.
Is that why there's a gigantic Senior Pink?
Yeah, there's a Senior Pink here. And I feel like he did cosplay. I think he cosplayed him too. It's probably like somewhere here in this interview, but
you only see his face, but I could see it. Like, where's Senior Pink there? Like, similar face shape.
Yeah. He's a very funny. Kendo Kobayashi is a very funny guy. Very charming individual. And then I don't even know who these other people are. There's a Toshiki Masuda. I guess he's a seiyuu. I don't know if he. Okay. Here, down here, Kirishima from My Hero Academia. And,
there's a picture of
was also a guy in Haikyuu. So, he's there, and then there is a Yudai Sano from INI. That's I think it's a boy band. Possibly.
I mean, the picture. I will say the picture. It's like if he's
he
not
looks
in
very
a boy
pretty
band.
guy. Yeah,
Very pretty.
Right. Song and dance type of stuff. So, you get their views on One Piece, and now we get to like some of the really more interesting stuff that isn't specifically related to One Piece. There's this section here. There's a couple different parts. So this is where we get into like the historical Shonen Jump stuff, which is like what what are some like interesting historical artifacts of Jump before One Piece, for example? So you have like the very first Shonen Jump issue from 1968, like sort of what was Jump like right before One Piece in the 90s with Dragon Ball and Slam Dunk and stuff. Different versions of the Jump logo. There's like a selection throughout the years of like the spines of the different Jump issues and the way that like it has changed through the 70s and the 80s and 90s, which is all, really interesting from a historical standpoint. And there are some, like comments from, I don't know if this is like like a Jump historian, or maybe it's someone at Shueisha who does like design work for them or something. But it talks about it lists, there's a guy, Kazuki Katsumata, who was the designer. He was or at least one of the designers in Shueisha at the time, who designed the One Piece logo. Since obviously, you got to have the logo when the series starts. And so it's kind of interesting to think about, like, yeah, it's such an iconic part of the series, but like when he was doing it, like the series was nothing, right? Like you have like one chapter or maybe two chapters in storyboard form that you have to like design this logo that's going to be iconic for the rest of the history of the series, and that's pretty cool.
Which could be for a couple weeks or for 28 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we know whose fault it is.
Yeah. Yes,
Sam said it, not me.
It's his fault. Is the NEPPieces, the thing that everybody gets confused.
It's NEPPieces. That's
NEPPieces.
NEPPieces? No.
We get some like history of Johnny, which is the Jump mascot, the weird like pirate guy without a mouth, who appears on all the Shonen Jump stuff, and it has had some permutations throughout the years, and there's some offshoots. There's Kaizo-kun, which was like the official mascot character that Toriyama designed. You can very clearly tell this little yellow guy down there, very Toriyama-esque. And Oda did some of his own mascots on the next page. I remember this lion guy. That was for Saikyo Jump. This weird little lion with like a crown and some boxing gloves. He is Pharaon. It's a very strange name. And he's got like a starfish guy and a DJ orca, which is kind of cool.
Yo, DJ Orca in the house.
Yeah.
Better than DJ Killer Whale. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or can you?
The next two pages are really, this is sort of stuff like, again, this could be another episode on its own just because there's so much information packed in here, but it's it's sort of like a flow chart of how the cover of Shonen Jump is designed. And so it has like color coded, like the purple steps are from the editor, the orange steps are from the designer, and then the green steps are from the artists. And so it's like, okay, the editor has they decide on the theme of the cover of this issue of Jump, and then the designer mocks up a rough draft, and then the editor takes that rough draft and they check over it, and then they go and contract the artists to provide illustrations for it. So the artists get involved, they do their little pieces that get fit into the cover. And then the designer goes back and like does a proper design, and they check it and, do quality checks and all that stuff. And, we've seen a lot of in the color walks, we've seen a lot of like, here's the actual, like just the raw illustration that Oda provided that is devoid of all the cover graphics around it. It's just the illustration. But you can see like they have like some screenshots of like the, InDesign or whatever. Adobe InDesign is what they use to put the layers of the cover together and try different logo treatments and stuff like that. It's all really interesting stuff, I'm sure, from a graphic, people who work in graphic stuff.
So do they go to each artist and like, hey, here's the concept for this month. It's draw your character holding an ice cream cone. And they all submit their piece, and then someone collages them together, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly.
That's so interesting.
I talked about this last time, so apologies for the repetition. But the one thing I got to see when I went to the Shonen Jump the offices is that them putting together one of the covers. I talked about which one it was last time, but it is literally just them,
dragging pieces around and kind of like,
yeah.
Huh, that's so cool.
Graphic design people could probably. I mean, I'm sure, like Vanessa and others who work on One Piece kind of wish they had all the individual assets like that for a chapter, but at Shonen Jump, I'm sure they have, everything.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There's more stuff. I'll kind of skip through more quickly. Stuff about like the page construction, the fact that 85% of a Jump issue is recycled paper, and like they have a special name for it, and sort of like the ways that they design for it. They talk about the beginning and the expansion of the digital version of Jump, which obviously in Japan has a longer history than the English version, and then the expanding to all these things like Jump Plus, an original series that are only online, and they have Zebrak, which is like Shueisha's official sort of like online bookstore for their stuff in Japan. And there's One Piece Base as well, which is kind of like the Japan specific, like I don't know if it's a subscription, but it's like that's where you can buy, like you can get the vault and read it for yourself if you're in Japan and stuff like that. Page 98, we have an interesting graph, which is very useful to know. There's a pie chart here, 15% and 85%. Guess which one is current Shonen Jump artists who work analog on pen and paper, and which ones work digitally? Which one do you think is the 15%?
Well, I'm looking at the answer, so I'm not gonna...
Yeah, you can see the answer.
Is it digital?
I'm assuming it'd be mostly digital nowadays. Yeah.
The 85% is digital. So at the time of this, that would be me and Roboco, Sakamoto Days, Elusive Samurai, Witch Watch, Blue Box, Kill Blue or whatever, Nue's Exorcist, Kagurabachi, Himaten, Ichi the Witch, Shinobi Goto, Nice Prison, Odor. I don't even know all of these. There's so many new series.
That's so many.
Ping Pong, Ekiden, blah blah blah. 17 of them. Yes. Analog on pen and paper, 3, and that is One Piece, Kiyoshi, the what is that? The
Ultimate Exorcist,
Kiyoshi, and Akane Banashi.
Huh.
Wow.
I was gonna say Akane Banashi.
A really mind blowing thing I learned. Apparently, like Naruto, like from like as early as like volume like 6 or something, was fully digital.
Wow,
that is
cool.
Wait, the original Naruto?
Yeah.
Well, there was only one. Oh,
so that was like that was a very early, and like
Boruto, but
correct.
You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't like
no
by looking at it.
Also, interesting fun fact here: One Piece, of course, we know is all paper. Akane Banashi and Kiyoshi, both drawn by assistance of Oda. So there is a direct
interesting
continuity there in materials.
God, that's kind of sad. He's like the last guard keeping the traditional like pen and paper
don't
alive.
worry, Urasawa is out there. He's not going to let that die.
Oh yeah, he's got decades to go still. Sure.
No, that might just. Yeah, it's definitely the old guard, and it's also
there are
One
dozens
Piece,
of us.
So.
Yeah,
but it's like also like the big names do tend to be. I feel like. Yeah. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, there's a really cool picture on page 99, which I think you can show them, Zach, of the Elbaf page with Nami here, where she's crying up in the corner. And although it's really hard, I'm sure you guys can barely see it. There is a red line. There's a box around it, and it is depicting here the dimensions of the page that he draws on, and then this is the rough dimensions of what the how the art will be cut in order to fit in the magazine and in the volume. And those both have like slightly different dimensions, I believe, or at least they get recut. Like it is very often the case when I work on stuff where it's like, okay, we have these digital files. This is what is going in the print magazine. And then you look at the volume and it's like some parts that you could see are a little more cut off and some parts you couldn't see are a little more visible on the edges. And sometimes there's even like, oh, there's a little sign here. And they come back to me and they're like, hey, we found this sign. Can you translate this? Because it wasn't visible before. Little stuff like that happens. But yeah.
Do you think the Viz version and like the Japanese tankobons are the same dimensions? Like, would they cut at the same spots?
They are not the same sizes.
Right.
I don't know if the ratio is. I would imagine they try to get the ratio as identical as possible. But they're definitely slightly larger in Viz than in Shueisha. But I will say, when we get not the pages with all the text on them that I use to translate from, but the like the raw, like the TIFF files that are like full size that don't have the text on them. They're just the art that the letterers use to put the text in and then crunch them down. Those are the full sized assets. So every now and then, I feel like once or twice for the podcast, I have like where it's like, oh, we can't really see this, or like, can you zoom it in as close as possible? I've gone and grabbed those files and like checked to see if I could make out, more details, because obviously I can take advantage of that.
That's so cool. I want to see more like uncut pages. I can't imagine what's been
I want those
lost.
leather bound versions of One Piece. The big.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is a lot of artists, like, that's bleed space where they're just like, okay, well, the effect just kind of trails off and it doesn't look. It's not meant to to be nice and compact. It
looks like dead space if you just print the full thing.
Yeah.
True.
Or like, or when they do the like, oh, we cut the movie, but then we have like the extra dimensions that you weren't supposed to see. And,
and there's a guy hanging out there. The boom mic operator.
Right. Exactly.
Having a coffee.
The open mat.
I do want to posit here. So I don't know if you remember, Stephen, but Marineford, like really just Marineford, had this thing where all the 2-page spreads had that big white border.
Yeah, it was one volume specifically. 58. I don't know why.
I wonder
that was
if
an accident
or if it was on purpose.
Because it's the same in Japanese, isn't it?
Yes,
it is. It was it's noticeable because there's so many 2-page spreads in Marineford, and they're all incredible. But it's a very weird. It's a shift. It's like you notice it.
Yes,
I think if you're looking at all, but
did they ever fix that? Is that like still in the news printing?
No. Yep. I think that's just
it's still there.
Yeah. It's really fascinating too, because it's like, on the one hand, you look at it and you're like, and they're like fully boarded. It's like, it's not sloppy. Like all the panels are full boxes. So it's very clean. But like, it's like you can see all the details, but at the same time, like, it doesn't stretch to the edge of the page, and like you do lose a little bit of like the impact, because it's there's a little it's bordered, it's like boxed in, and so it's just different. That's all.
I think if it were on bigger, like if it were like the size of like the color wall compendiums, I think it would still have the same impact. But because they're
cool.
that would be cool.
It's like when you watch something that like is like a 4:3 image, but it like has 16:9 letterboxing on it, and then you watch it on a 16:9 TV, and now it's like just a small box
double
inside your
double letterboxed, double boxed. It is like that. That is, I think it's volume 57 for those wondering.
It's one of those Marineford ones.
It's the first one, I think. It's like of the Okay, Ken's going again.
It's volume 58. I remember it.
Sam is
proving me wrong.
Confident.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some more stuff about like, oh, what's the job of the editor, and the going back and forth, and there's also like a manga drawn by, I think this might be one of the spin-off artists, that I won't really go into it because there's more interesting stuff later. But needless to say, this is covering a lot of different Jump related topics, and like, behind the scenes, like how the sausage is made, sort of stuff. But do we have it, Ken? Do we have a
an answer?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's exactly as Sam said.
58.
Damn you,
Okay.
Sam. Damn you. But thank you.
All right. But yeah, what I really wanted to go forward to look at, Zach, for starting at page 112, we get one of my favorite sections.
How do I know? I have predicted exactly where you're jumping.
We are getting to the font section, and this obviously is like super interesting to me.
I'm excited.
Because
I know we have at least a few listeners. I know, like Brandon, I know has his own One Piece podcast if he's listening. I know this is for the letterers.
Yes. Yeah. They're talking about fonts, and this is definitely something that has expanded a lot here. In fact, at the bottom, they have the color art for like page 1. It's like Roger on the execution stand and then the whole crowd. And they are showing that, back in 97, back in the day, the artist would like write with pencil in the word balloons, and then of course an editor, someone involved behind the scenes, would put in the text, the printed text. And it was not done digitally back then because they didn't really have the tech for it. They would print it out. They would have this fancy high def printer.
We talked
high res
about
printer.
this a little with a long time ago, Jason Thompson, right? I think I hope I'm getting his name right.
Well, the first
translator, and
that's the first editor.
Editor, sorry.
That's what Viz did for the English sound effects. Was they, at the very start of Shonen Jump, they actually printed it, and that's why you can see that a lot of the sound effects actually block the art behind them because like they couldn't. They didn't have time or the effort or
resources sometimes.
To cut out all the blank space. So there are definitely some, especially like Volume 1 era of a lot of those series, like Naruto and Shaman King and stuff. But yeah, they used to print it out physically and then stick it on the page, and they had it on like a separate layer. So I don't know if there was like a bit of glass or something like that, a bit of clear plastic that they would stick that on and superimpose it over the page. And nowadays, of course, it's all done digitally, and you can change all these fonts around, and they've really expanded the list of fonts. And so they single out a ton of them here. And this is sort of stuff that like, it's not going to necessarily mean anything if you don't look at the manga in Japanese a lot, and learn to sort of recognize the different effects that they can use in manga nowadays. But there's like a scene of Luffy where he's saying, I'm going to be the king of the pirates. And it's clearly a fairly recent, scene of Luffy. And then it's just like, here's all these different fonts treatments that you could give it. And like,
that's
look
the
at how
chapter 1000 one, I think.
Yeah, that looks right. And like, here's all the different ways that it can look, where it's like, this one's more loopy and thin, and this one's more like calligraphy like, and this one's blockier, and they can use them for all different types of impact and feel.
It's like when a voice actor is recording the same line over and over again. I'm gonna be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, it's over and over again. Just a
I'm
slightly
gonna be
different
king
touch
of
to
the
it.
pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's someone's job to sit there and sift through all of them and to be like, no, this one's the right one. So they're pointing out like, here's like all of the little like heart emojis and things that Oda will draw in there, and like the different kind of ways that the text gets kind of personified and given character, and how they have to make sure that those are represented in in the printed dialogue as well. Make sure that it's all spaced properly and things like that. That's all pretty interesting, but again, pretty minor, like really getting into the weeds type of detail. And then on page 114 and 115, it's just like 2 pages of like, here's all these different fonts that we use and the effects that they have on like the way it looks.
Damn,
and
this is pretty cool. I mean, if I read the Japanese version more, I'd be very...
Yeah, and of course, like I look at these things all the time, so I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that font. I know that font. Like the one in the middle here is called Comic Reggae, and it is specifically
new Comic Sans right there.
It's specifically the one that like Brooke uses in like when he's doing his Soul King stuff, where he's like yelling through a microphone. Or like,
did they make these fonts, or were they existing?
I don't think so. I might say that somewhere in here, but I think that these are just, like commercial fonts that they.
Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that's one, like whenever Brooke says something in English and it's written in English, like you'll see this kind of weird, and it is sort of a bony looking font, and that one's called Comic Reggae apparently. There's one called Reigaso W7, which means like graceful and beautiful, and that is the font that Sanji uses for his Melorine like fantasy stuff, where he's like Nami-san and wobbling around. Let's see what else.
They have the chapter title font.
Yeah, the chapter title font is called Sogetai W7, and that is specifically used for the chapter titles in the volumes. There's a different font that they use in the weekly chapters, but they redo it for the.
And then those editor notes that are totally not Oda that everyone thinks is.
Yeah, there's Shingo is like the it's kind of like their version of like just a classic bold font. So that one is Shingo shadowed because it has the drop shadow. It's the white with the drop shadow, and that's how it always looks at the end of the chapter when there's a little.
I'm curious about the bottom, which I'm assuming you might talk about. Like that there have been like the Oda boxes, as we call them, changes in that.
So these ones, so they have stuff here like they're singling out like the scene where Tashigi sees Wado Ichimonji for the first time in Logtown. Mr. 2 giving him the thumbs up, the teary thumbs up at the end of Alabasta. Arlong doing stuff, and then you have some Oda boxes. These are fonts that are no longer used. And so apparently, particularly the ones early on in the series, first couple years, were produced by a certain company, and it looks like after 2010, when Jump switched to a full digital production, they were no longer able to use that. So I don't know if that means like
they had like a no digital clause, or
yeah, probably something like that. I don't know. You would need someone to explain more of the nitty gritty of like the font and printing business in Japan to explain why they had to stop using them. But
this is remarkable though. They just have a page of just explaining all the different fonts.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's
very cool.
That's crazy. Because like I remember like way back in the day, like I tracked down like at least like most of the fonts Viz used.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of those.
Yeah, I know those.
Yeah, and they don't like Viz don't have like a 1-to-1 policy where it's like, okay, this English font is this Japanese font. But I would imagine that a lot of the letterers probably have like their own personal guidelines for like, yeah, I'm going to use this one for this type of thing. Like, you have to establish like your sort of visual language, right? Of like, here's what the italicized ones will look like. Here's what bold will look like. Here's what, this kind of like, crazy effect will look like, et cetera, et cetera. And
I'll say this kind of gives ammunition to people like Ein, who are just incredible who could do like incredible One Piece 1-to-1s, and now they also have the fonts. Like you would never know.
Yeah. So I would imagine like if Vanessa were here to comment on this, she would be able to tell us a bunch of stuff like, oh yeah, I use this and this for these and this one for that, et cetera, et cetera. So
I remembered my white whale that I was really excited to find was the Viz Scary font, which is like it's like Arcanum or something like that.
Oh, like that wavy, like whoa.
Yeah,
font.
it's like when Blackbeard's saying something really intense or something.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they have like certain like house fonts that they're allowed to use, or if it's sort of just like, okay, if you the letterer have this font, like if you own this font, then you can use it. I really don't know what the rules are for that sort of stuff.
What Sam, that font is basically the Thriller Bark font, I would say. I feel like half of Thriller Bark has that like, this is creepy.
Yeah, that's the Blackbeard saying something ominous font right there.
Yeah, Arcanum that was a good memory from Sam too. Yeah.
Wait, so when Oda does because he's not doing the fonts per se, he's just he's putting in what he wants to be in the box. Does he have no say on the font then, or is he commenting on the font?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I would imagine that might be either a collaborative process or like the editor mostly handles that. And I mean,
probably though in the pencil, like I have to look here, but like I'm sure he underlines stuff, he quotes stuff. Like I mean, I'm looking at the pencil.
Well, I'm sure he can trust his editors like to just choose the right font for him.
Oh yeah, no,
he's not writing the margin like use the spooky font here.
No, actually,
I guess these notes, yeah.
Oh, he does say that?
I think you're looking at the same thing, Zach. There's like
on page
red,
113.
Yeah, there's red marker, like pen notes, and those are they have L, K, J, R, D, V, M, and those correspond to different fonts to use. Now, that might be the sort of thing where like the editor goes through it and then says like, okay, we'll use this one and this one and this one when they go over it, like when he's like doing his check and maybe, they're sort of like collaborating on the final say for that sort of stuff. Possibly. I don't know. Like it doesn't, like it says, yes, this is what the stuff is, but I don't know that this is Oda's I think this might be the editor's,
interesting. I'd be super interested to find that out, because it's kind of cool if Oda has fonts in mind when he's writing, or he just trusts the team like that much.
Yeah, I
think he probably has something in mind.
Yeah, and sometimes they do change, like when the chapter goes to a volume, sometimes they do change the font. So I think there are definitely cases where like either he or the editor or someone is like, this was the wrong, or like this sent the wrong, impression of like the emotional intent of this line or whatever. So let's switch to a different font. So I think that stuff does happen.
That's so fascinating. That's really cool. It's such a small thing. That's so cool.
Right. But it has a big effect on.
It totally does.
Yeah, we've definitely discussed font sizes and stuff on chapters.
Yeah, and in fact, like this is, I will admit to you, this is like one of my conspiracy theories, but and I have no way to prove this, and it is kind of ultimately meaningless. But I do feel like there's a significant percentage of the time when like you hear the like the fan commentary that's like, oh, this like the scanlation line was so much raw or whatever. I often feel like if you switch the font styles of the two, if you did like a blind test, sort of like an A/B test thing of like which one looks cooler, I think sometimes people just like the font more in like in a different font, and like they associate that with being
100%
like tougher. Yeah.
Do the scanlations use like edgelord font or like
the size
they're
of
just different.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. All scanlators
inside the bubble.
Also, and all scanlators have done that differently too.
Everybody does it differently. So, but yeah, I think it's one of those things you don't think about, but it has a major effect on how it looks too.
It's like a subconscious sort of thing.
Right. That all aside, very fascinating rabbit hole on fonts. We have some like sort of like interesting errata on the road to becoming a mangaka. So there's a lot of like, here's the Hop Step Jump Awards and the Tezuka Awards and all this stuff that like amateur artists do to submit their material. So we have like Oda's like form submission for one of the awards, and where you can see him filling in like his favorite artists and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. I guess just talking about like how artists kind of move up within the Jump ecosystem and all of that. And it also includes a bunch of his selections. Now, these are comments that you wouldn't have seen because they're not, or they would be much less likely to have seen because they're not his weekly comments. They're his comments for the Tezuka Awards, where like the judge panels, they will, provide, like we were talking about that, Zach, remember in the first half of this magazine where it was like Leiji Matsumoto's comments to Oda, and he was like, who's this L Matsumoto at Jackass? And he didn't realize who it was. And so there's a bunch of Oda's comments to other artists, basically. So this is sort of like stuff he says, and it's not specified as to like who he's about or what they're about. And some of them are more general, but it's just kind of interesting, more like sort of motivational commentary from Oda, which is kind of cool. Give me just a second. Simba is kind of going crazy here.
I'll let him out.
With that break, I gotta head out, folks.
Okay, thank you, Golf.
Appreciate you having me on. No worries. It was fun to listen to that.
Wait, before you go, do you want to tell people where they can find you? Well, Simba,
yes, YouTube and TikTok as Golfer Gear.
I know you have videos on you just started posting on YouTube. I know. I
did. We got a big one on Satoshi Kon coming up. That's the big next one.
Nice. Thanks, Golfer, for coming.
Adios. Y'all have a good night.
Dude.
Oh,
bye. Okay.
We lost. Okay.
No, we could continue.
Okay.
I let Golfer do his plug, so perfect.
So magnanimous.
You know me.
The terror of Zach Logan.
Okay, we're almost. Title. Yeah, we're pretty close to finishing.
Who are we having draw me and
I want to talk about fonts more. The font has been so interesting.
No, I do like it too, but I'm aware our audience might not.
Yeah.
Well, I stand corrected, actually, probably.
Today's fontcast calls for snow.
What?
Like forecast, fontcast.
That's
okay. Oh. I'm just riffing. Just let's continue.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of other stuff. No, keep going. But I don't think we're stopping.
Okay. Should I just
people 3, know 2. It's Simba's fault. No, we're just going. It's fine.
Okay. Get a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. Simba's curtain. It's really
Simba's curtain.
I mean, Simba is a part of the crew, so I think it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Simba the Great and Powerful.
Yeah.
Simba the Great. The curtain.
50 berry bounty for Simba. Next there's actually a selection. This is like excerpts from the different interviews that Oda did with the artists that he assisted, that he apprenticed under, that were all in various Color Walk volumes. So this is all stuff that has been published before. You can get them in the Color Walk compendium. And so it's just kind of like, oh, well, here's for context, we're talking about assistant work and what are the things that you do? What's the stuff that goes into producing this manga for Jump? And so they just pulled out some of the, the commentary between Oda and his former mentors, which, is interesting in terms of context, but it also is older stuff. They also include, I didn't even see that this was here. on page 127, they have pictures of some of the various things that Oda, I think this says,
was discussing in the interview. Yeah, the shack is here.
Yes, and there is a picture of the Shaquille O'Neal story. Once again, Shaquille O'Neal Monogatari, Dream Team, Retsuden.
Oh my God.
Amazing. Legendary stuff. And the folks that were close to Oda. And then they include, here's assistants, former assistants of Oda that you might recognize from Jump, including, of course, Moe from Akane Banashi, Shoichi Usui, who does Kiyoshi the Exorcist, and Masaoki Shindo of Ruri Dragon, which is also definitely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that was news to me as well, and it is funny because I have like a secret rivalry with Ruri Dragon because that started in the same round as Akane, and people definitely like that was the one that people remembered the most. Like it was a big splash was Ruri Dragon. And I was always like, man, but I don't know. Kane's really good. Like, you guys don't know what you're missing.
Is Ruri Dragon still going?
It is. It's on Jump Plus because I guess the artist, like, it started and then within like 6 or 7 chapters, they had to take a health break, and it was basically, it was one of those things where it like immediately got derailed, but it was also so instantly popular that they were like, we can't let this just go to the wayside. So they kept him around. They were helping him rehabilitate or whatever it was that he needed. And so they eventually moved Ruri Dragon to a digital format where it can kind of come out whenever it needs to. But apparently that artist also was an assistant for One Piece.
Interesting. You can't escape.
And then we're straying a little bit further from the actual Jump part
Merch.
of it, but yes, we get to Jump Festa and the ways that the series interface with Jump Festa and the merch that they make, and Oda writing his comments.
It used to appear there? Because I feel like that's not really even discussed.
That's a good question.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, he used to
For those who don't know, listen to our old episodes where Greg would go through life and limb to try and get into Jump Festa stage shows to see Oda.
Yeah, no, because he hasn't done that in a long time, and I feel like that's not. I feel like that's not really a thing that they would be like, hey, check it out. Oda used to go on stage.
No, I don't think they would.
Yeah. Not so much.
The reason he did it is because it was like pre things like leaking online.
And phones that can stream live, and just
it was a simpler time.
Yeah.
But we should really talk about what's on 132, right?
Okay, yeah, we'll skip past the Jump Shop and the
if that's okay.
Top 3 merchandise sales. 132 we get into the sort of international versions of Jump, and so they are explaining and describing Manga Plus by Shueisha as the the thing for everybody but Japan. This
is what you can't see.
Yeah, exactly. And
if only we could do something about that.
It is kind of interesting. It's another one of those like little tiny things where like they show, oh, here's what it looks like when you scroll through the chapter list for One Piece, and so you can see, chapter 1145, Wildfire in Forest Sector 2 of Branch Route 8, and all this stuff down to chapter 1150, Domi Reversi. So you have all of the, my English translated chapters listed in this little magazine, which is always funny to see, kind of in the wild, so to speak. And they talk about the history of Shonen Jump, the English magazine. So they have, what is this? Is this Enies Lobby era cover with this illustration of Luffy doing the
That
gum?
was the Buccaneer Blitzkrieg
The Buccaneer
Blitz, a tongue twister. The Buccaneer Blitzkrieg escalates. For those who don't know, that is the subtitle for the old English Shonen Jump magazine was very corny. I have that on my. I have this issue on my shelf. I could go find and let you know if you want.
It says.
It says oh my god.
This is volume 8 or July 2010, I should say.
I have a handful, and I'm almost positive because it was when I think it's when One Piece went very quote unquote here simultaneous with Japan, in that they skipped from Alabasta to Impel Down, I think.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Like this is when we first started the podcast. You said it was 2008 or 9?
This is 2010.
2010. Okay, so yeah, it's right after we started.
What chapter? You guys started with chapter 540?
We did 544.
544, okay.
For those who want to know how long we've been doing this.
That's crazy.
Yes, but also, I think it was if it's crazy, if you read the first few Impel Down chapters in English, I don't even know if Steven's even done this, because why would he? They are still kind of pirate speaky. So there's like this middle portion where they did the catch up, like between Alabasta and Impel Down, where like, you know, kind of normal-ish. There's issues I have that I've talked about. But then it goes kind of back to the earlier stuff in Impel Down, and that's the reason, because it was in the print magazine at the time. It was this big skip ahead. It was this big deal. Big deal at the time. I'm going to go look and see if I have it. But go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, although I do spot a little bit of an error here, because it does point out. Okay, so they're talking about the monthly print magazine started in 2002, but then it was published monthly, and then it went to Weekly Shonen Jump Alpha, and they say in January of 2011, but that is not accurate. It was January of 2012 was when it started, because I began working on the chapters like to lead up to that in late 2011. So yeah, and then 2013 was when
guys I lied.
Simultaneous.
I have half of 2010, but not that specific one. Yeah.
Okay.
I have all the Naruto ones and Bleach issues, and that's really what's important. I just remember at the time being so annoyed at how little push One Piece had from the Shonen Jump magazine. And look at where we are today.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's been 16 years since then, so you'd hope.
It's a war of attrition at this point.
It is.
There's not much left.
That's really what it was. Viz was just like, oh, do we have to? And then here we are 16 years later.
Is he still doing that? Okay, fine.
I guess we'll promote it. Yeah, go ahead.
They include they have an example of one of the omnibus volume covers, 103, 104,
I thought that was
105.
Interesting.
Yeah,
this is the last page thing when you open it the wrong way.
They have to point out, that you need to learn the direction to read the manga, since that would obviously be interesting.
I wonder if that actually turns off anyone at this point. I feel like that is just so ubiquitous at this point. But
yeah, well,
as a kid, I thought that was like, somewhere. Oh wow, this is so unique.
It's foreign and different.
Right, you have to learn how to read it. Yeah. They point out
now I read everything in that direction, and when it's a comic and it's a real issue.
They point out that there are foreign language versions of the One Piece magazines. They show Korean, Chinese, French, and I don't know, that might also be French or another European language, not English.
I hope you're on that, and by on that I mean pressuring them. I don't know what Stephen would really do.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd have to charge to work on one of these things.
I know, a lot. At least a free volume. Stephen, I was going to ask. So back in the day, before when we were talking about like 2010, when One Piece was a little less popular, and we were like, okay, if you want to see this, go out and get it. get the volumes or whatever, so we could get the color walks, and we did, we did. Like at this point, what could fans do to get, let's say the magazines, or is there like really anything? Because like, I am sure, personally sitting here, I feel like they would probably sell pretty well.
You're talking about the magazines that we're doing, like looking at right now.
The magazines, or I think definitive editions, like we keep talking about.
I think it ultimately comes down to just print sales in general, like of the volumes, of the novels, of all the spin-off material. Like that's what they're going to look at, and they're going to be like, well, if we sold this many of the Law novel and of the Ace novel and Sergeant's Cookbook,
but
and
like,
whatever.
I don't care about the Law novel, but at the same time, I do care about.
But that's the way, by showing them, hey, there's demand for more.
That's how you demonstrate.
I bought them.
Yeah.
Did I try reading them? Yes. Did I finish reading them? Absolutely not.
Yes. Speaking of
which, I just don't care enough. Perfect.
This is a great transition. Yeah, there's like 2 other pages of some of the editors with some little illustrations of some of Oda's editors throughout time. But then we get to, of course, the thing everyone wants to find out about, chapter 2 of the next Law novel.
Finally.
Which has,
if you were a Law fan, and I know there are many, do you know? I heard recently, how many years has it been since Law has shown up in the story? It's been many, I think.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Since his
Saboti. Law's been around
since he got destroyed by it wasn't Shanks, was it? It was a Blackbeard.
Blackbeard, yeah.
But boy, did he get beat. He's never coming back. He's dead.
It does have
on an island,
illustrations
Loser
from
Island. I forgot that's the one we did for that one.
It does have illustrations from Kinu Nishimura, who I believe
illustrations.
Yeah, I think this might be the artist who worked in Capcom on like Street Fighter illustrations, if I'm not mistaken. Kinu is a very distinctive name. So,
Steven, before you did that very good segue, just to completely ruin it and go back, it would be easy you could definitely sell out anything. Just put an exclusive card in there, and then it's gone. It's off the shelf. You never have to worry about it.
Yeah, but they have to.
And Steven
they have to
paid
print
bank for the translation.
Yeah, they have to print like 100,000 of them, though. Anyways, so yeah, skipping past the Law, and it seems like the Law novel will continue. There will be more after that. This definitely looks like it's more like modern day. At least the illustrations are. I haven't read the stuff, but the novel itself was more of like childhood Law.
This looks like his pre-time skip outfit. Yeah, because it's not the cap; it's the one with the
It's his fuzzy beanie. A little page commemorating heroines anime. We have some design sketches. Always fun. Cool. Of Egghead specifically, so we get Vegapunk.
Hey, look, it's
Dr.
Lilith, Sam.
Yeah, we get Dr. Vegapunk. Unfortunately, this seems like he already knew exactly what he was doing with Vegapunk, so there aren't like a bunch of crazy variations. It's just sort of like once he was already into writing Egghead, and so he knew exactly what the design was going to be, and was just kind of fleshing out the different looks that he was going to use. But yep, we get all the.
His head was different though. It looked like he had like a light bulb head. That is actually exactly what that I think.
Well, yes, that is a different thing. Yeah, not the apple.
And it says on and off with one F, but
with a one on of.
Yeah, on of.
That would have been a good design too. I would have liked that as well.
Yeah, you know what? I would have. I do really enjoy the apple though.
The apple is
that's
great,
a fun. It is a very fun design.
That's how they kill Vegapunk. They turn the switch off on his head. Oh no.
Okay, that would have been great.
That's a good guy.
Kizaru just goes over very very fast. He gets over there. Boop. Or though he's electricity, I feel like he could mess that up for just that. Let me just blow that fuse.
Yeah, the one character who has interesting alternate, or the two characters who have interesting alternate designs are Pythagoras and York, because Pythagoras, he had a version, instead of being like sort of a big, like sort of dopey looking cute robot. He had a guy. This guy looks like a film gold character or something. Like it's very Kronk coded, just like huge guy with an enormous chin and in longer hair. Yeah.
That looks too Kuma-ish for
yeah,
me.
weird.
It looks
yeah.
very Kuma-y.
I do think that the final Pythagoras design was a better one, but that one's interesting.
This looks so much like every other Oda design of big necked,
Right.
big. It's
Right.
crazy,
That's what I mean.
completely.
But yeah, he looks like when he would toss off for a movie. York's
these York
alternate ones,
Yeah,
where
talk about this.
where it's like a weird frog. It's so weird. Yeah,
I feel
York-
like he changed it. Like, people are gonna guess who the evil one is really easily if I keep her a frog
Hey,
person.
What
who
does
do
that
I
mean?
not
What are you
trust
talking about?
here?
Frogs?
Yeah.
You're anti-frog
Here
all
are
of a
5
sudden?
mobile robots and this weird frog creature who eats for me. Don't trust them.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I
That's
both
so
like and
weird.
hate this design because I like it because it's not as generic, but I hate it because it kind of reminds me of Wanzai.
Yeah.
Wanzai?
Don't ask me why.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was the big mouth. Yeah, kind of freaky. It looks like one of the one where she's sleeping on her side just looks like Kinemon's frog disguise
Yes.
from Dressrosa.
It does.
It's
Which
just-
was one of my
yeah.
favorite designs, to
Yeah.
be fair.
That's good.
Those
but he already
outfits
used it.
are one of the funniest things in the series.
Yes.
If not the-
But he has some good sketches of York of like the actual York as well that are cute. Yes, we have Seraphim and Bonnie as well. The Seraphim designs just look like he was drawing kid versions of Hancock. That's about
Is that her
not-
like in like a
nothing too.
astronaut suit?
Yeah, like I guess that's an egghead suit, right? Kind of the jumpsuit thing.
Interesting.
Looks okay. And Bonnie, now he did draw let's see, Bonnie. So Bonnie would technically be a princess if Kuma was the king of Sorbet Kingdom. And so he drew this like princess version of grown up Bonnie where she's wearing a fancy gown and is all made up and stuff. But she still has like her weird little kid version of makeup, which is kind of funny. But then again,
I'm happy.
This is
Too
Oda's
many
design.
princesses. So
Yeah, I was going to say this is Oda's design. So if you remove like her wacky makeup, you would not be able to identify her as Bonnie.
yeah, it just looks like. I think these other Bonnie ones are from pre.
They could be older,
or
yeah.
they're. I think because I've definitely seen the one with her in the bigger hat here.
Yeah.
Devil Fruit time.
Devil Fruit time. Yes.
Okay,
we
wait,
have-
let's play the game. Ken, you have to guess who the Devil Fruit is for.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
it's going to be so hard because the Devil Fruits don't look at all like their powers. Oh, who could it be?
Well, I mean,
think I already
the
spoiled it.
characters' faces are right there next to it.
Oh no, I'm
Wait,
completely
I didn't see whose characters, but that's
good,
clearly
perfect.
that's
is
Earthquake,
it?
right? That's
Yes.
Whitebeard's.
Wow, you really
Yes.
didn't see it. That's great.
Oh,
Who
that's
could this
Sam
be?
sits up.
Marcos.
It's a pineapple with phoenix
Wait.
tails coming out of it.
Yeah, and
the
blue
other
fire.
one looks like a shattered. Yeah, and the other one looks like
Was I supposed to guess? Did Ken just swoop
No,
on me?
I don't care. I guess Ken just swooped on you, Sam. It wasn't
Yeah,
a
this
real
is-
game because it's super obvious.
This is what happens
I
when
think
you
the ones in
lie
the
down on the
magazines are
couch
always,
when
like,
we're recording.
Blatantly
you're-
obvious.
Get off the couch, Sam. Or not, I don't care.
My
My
whatever.
whole seat is a couch.
Then there's advertisements for the
Yeah.
USJ
For Sanji's
restaurant that I've been
restaurant.
to where I think Sanji might have
cosplay.
hit on Greg. Someone,
Oh, man.
I think.
This is
I
really,
think.
this is just the whole USJ section, promotional section.
I'll say the only thing I'm angry that we missed out on when Greg and I went there 12 years ago is there was no Jamiroquai Kaku there, which there is
Yeah.
now. which is fantastic. Yeah. And I hope Steve is there right now. Although I think it's only during the summer, right? I don't think it's actually during the winter. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Who knows?
Okay, what else? That looks like most of it.
Yeah,
card game stuff.
Bunch of very packed magazine. That. Jesus Christ.
It is. Yeah,
this one is a big one.
Almost
the Lego stuff.
Yeah, it's over 200 pages.
Wow.
Yeah, there's lots of stills, promotional stills from season 2 of the
and then the
show.
Zorro novel.
And then the Zorro novel. And yeah, this one was kind of interesting because it was like, oh, wait, they're putting 2 novels in the magazine now? But this one, although it is described as, what is it, part 2 of chapter 1, when you get to the very end, there's a little note that says, thanks for reading. You can find the rest of the story in the collected novel when it comes out in spring of 2026. So they're just like, okay, that's enough of you.
Preview.
Yeah.
The Zorro story, you can have it. I left it all in one volume.
Found in bookstores nationwide.
Exactly.
You could find it in bookstores nationwide. And then the SSBS after that, which is the...
Yeah.
What is it? Usopp's
user-submitted jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that'll do
That's
it.
Really it. Yeah. Woo.
Thank you, Steve.
I do like that they do. I'll say the last thing is they do a weekly Shonen Jump style table of contents in the back, which I thought was fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, this volume is an all timer. I gotta say, the One Piece magazines, like in general, all really worth it if you have a chance. Yeah. Like, Steven has been nice enough to like really do the closest thing you could get to an actual translation. So, and we've done it for all of them, I think. Yeah, I mean, I forget when they started, but I think we did all of them.
Yeah, I don't know if we did. Did we do one for like the fan letter
I think we
magazine?
Did.
I don't remember.
Or if we didn't, it's like that one you don't even really need the translation. I feel like it is worth it, but it's like an art book for
that mini one that didn't have an actual volume number you're talking about, right?
Yeah. I don't recall if we did that or not. Well, no, we did a fan letter episode. I don't remember if we did the magazine too, though.
Mm-hmm.
But we did most.
Yeah,
of them,
I think
not all.
I think that because when they started doing this, they had a real head of steam, and it was like, oh, it's going to be quarterly. Like every 3 months, we're going to have a new one of these. And they started with the Oda interviews, and I think they very wisely switched to like a slower pace.
What is it now?
And
Once
it's
or
like
twice a year.
Yeah, maybe 2 a year. But it gives them time to like actually like put a great theme together and really like delve into stuff that makes that interesting. And
this one might be one of my favorites, if not my favorite.
It's very cool.
There's been some great ones, but this one's really outstanding. So if you could find it anywhere, please pick it up. But Stephen, thank you again for going through this with us. It's always, such a pleasure.
You are welcome.
Now, I'm not going to really be able to do my surprise thing that I had planned, though, because I don't really have a lot of time, unless you want to, like, do it in, like, 10 seconds. People never know what it is. That's the problem.
It'll be very anticlimactic at this point if you bring it up and don't reveal it. Okay,
well, you know what I'll do is we'll round off, and then after the round off, we'll do, like, a lightning version of it. And I'll try.
Okay,
I'm just going to time you. It's not trivia.
Okay.
It is not trivia, but I'll do a full version of this in the future. Okay, let's take a break, then we'll round off. And trivia... No, it's not. This has been episode 907 of the One Piece podcast for February 23rd, 2026. Huge thanks for Golfer for joining us in the first part of the show. As he mentioned, you can check him out on TikTok and YouTube, Golfer Gare Bear. Please check us out at Patreon at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. You get all the stuff. Just subscribe. What are you waiting for? I'll wait. You know what? I'm not actually waiting. Sam, where could good people find you?
They can find me on Blue Sky at LC Sam.
Ken.
You can find me anywhere on the internet at KindKing01. Would that be Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch? I am all over the place. And please make sure to check out the One Piece art collab. You can find that on Blue Sky at opcollab.bsky.com. We have 2 volumes up, one from 10 years ago, one from last year. We got hundreds of artists to draw hundreds of One Piece characters. It's some really amazing art. It's totally free. Go check it out.
You're not charging enough.
Nope.
Steven, where can people find you?
All the good people can find me on Blue Sky at Stephen Paul at bsky.social. And if we didn't talk enough about Akane Banashi, you can read that as well in Shonen Jump. It is very cool. The anime is coming out, and I do think that they have planned, like, we're getting into another big arc coming up soon, and I feel like they have very carefully timed it out so that when the anime hits, it's going to be going real crazy in the manga as well. So that's fun to look forward to, coming up on chapter 200 in a couple weeks. So yeah, it's exciting times to get on board the boat, as it will. That's where we're going. We're going on a boat. Rakugo boat.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That is actually what's happening. You can find me, ZachLogan.com on Blue Sky, OnePiecePodcast.com on Blue Sky, One Piece Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or wherever you get your social media. Fuck ice. I can't forget to say that.
Fuck ice.
Yeah. Very
Fuck
important.
ice.
It is. I feel as an ice
multiple
eater,
meanings of the word for you guys.
Multiple fonts.
Okay.
Your blizzards.
Oh, right, that. Yeah, that too. Yeah. No, fuck that ice too. So what I had planned is our arc madness, or as Stephen brilliantly made the joke, you take March Madness and then you take out the M and the H and it works perfectly. It's a visual joke that I tried to use my word painting. I just don't have the same ability as Stephen, let's be honest. So we could just do lightning rounds. I even followed. So
you want to cram an entire bracket into a lightning round?
Yep. Well, so this is why I feel comfortable doing this. First of all, there's no such thing as definitive arc rankings. Second of all, tournament makes it even less definitive. Third, my opinions on these things usually change every 5 seconds. Fourth, I'm not even going to take part in it. I'm going to make you guys all do it.
Wow.
And so I don't have to talk about it for that one.
It's because there's 3 of us, so it's an odd number.
It's perfect. Yeah, so you will exactly.
The 3 of us vote, and
if one of you have 2 opinions, I could be the tiebreaker.
So no discussion, just give our answer. And move on.
This has to. I will be timing you basically. So we can't go on for hours for this.
I'm already sick.
As you should be. Now, before we get started, because I could hear our co-host Alex Kazanis being extremely angry about all of the decisions made. So Ken and I this is not the same order, but I'll explain in a second. But to define an arc, we had so much frickin' debate about this, and I don't care. But since everyone else cares, and we spent like hours talking about what constitutes an arc, these were the categories that we determined
this
fit
is what
an arc.
you determined. I had my own bracket, and I got raked across the coals for it.
This is the terror of Zach Logan.
Why did we let Ken live after?
We didn't let Ken live. Ken died and came back.
In a while.
It's the resurrection of Ken. Okay, so these are the things it needs to be: a distinct story, a distinct location, a distinct protagonist, distinct antagonist, and some resolution. Not all of these fit these all, 100%, but you'll see. There's sometimes though when it's like 4 out of 5.
Here are the strict rules. Some of these don't follow strict rules.
I don't remember. Look, I put this together. I put that specific part together whenever we did those rankings, which I think were a year ago.
Like
that was more than a month ago. No, the one that we did for the charity stream. Yes, but I also did that before. Anyway, here we go. Arcs. Oh, also last caveat. Thanks to Alex Kazanis also I seeded these. So based upon our arcs of consequence seeds. So with the new ones that we hadn't done randomly put in there. So here you go. Our extremely non-definitive arc ranking tournament. First, in the 1 seed, Water 7 NES Lobby versus our 26th seed, which is the bottom, Syrup Village. Fight.
Water 7.
Water 7.
Okay. Why did I even wait for that one? Water 7 NES Lobby, which is 1 arc, Ken.
Thank you.
2 distinct locations.
I appreciate this.
Yes, but...
Yeah, me and Sam said yes, so we override you.
Yeah, it's you do override.
That's how it works.
Correct. Wow. Ken is just rolling over here.
Oh, okay. All right. Next one. Come on.
Now he's mad. Okay, next one. Arlong Park in number 2. Amazon Lily 25.
Arlong Park.
Arlong.
Blame for the seeded thing and the fact that's not random. Blame Alex. I'm just saying blame
Passing
Alex.
the blame to
for
everyone
all of
else
this.
off this episode.
That's how we do it. That's the One Piece podcast way. That's why we have a big crew, so we could blame the people who aren't here that week for all of my
That's
bad. I mean, other people's bad decisions. The terror of Zach Logan. Alabasta or Orangetown?
Alabasta.
See, but this makes it quick. Look how quick we are.
Wait, are you pairing like the most popular ones against the least
highest,
popular?
Yes.
Why?
Because isn't that how it works in tournaments?
That's why I did random. I thought random worked better because
I thought random worked better too, but we're blaming Alex.
It's just like filters. Like, okay, why not just skip to like the entire round 2 now?
Well, we're going fast. That's what we're doing. We're trying to do this fast.
There could be a weird outlier.
We could do a random.
There could be an upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate arguing about structure when it's just do
I
the
love
thing.
it. Oh, I love arguing.
I know you too. I know you love arguing. Jaya Skypiea or Twin Capes Whiskey Peak. Those are each the individual ones.
Skypiea.
Were you thinking about that one?
I don't know. I love Whiskey Peak. I love that entire part of the...
I do love Whiskey Peak. I like... Not to say any of these suck. I mean, it's One Piece, and we love all of One Piece.
Jaya and Skypiea. If they had just been Jaya, I would have picked the Whiskey Peak part of that.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Over Jaya? Bellamy bounces around a little bit. Great.
Wow.
You're wrong, though. That's wrong.
Okay.
Wow.
Paramount War / Post-War versus Little Garden. I won't tell you which was first.
Marineford.
Also, I will say that as they'll get closer and closer as it goes down, but also these are our ranks from 2015, so our opinions are probably different, Sam. Oh no, actually, it couldn't have been. This must have been 2019. Wano and Fishman Island.
Wano.
Fishman. There. Yeah. Okay, Sam. Have fun with that one. Drum Island versus Logtown.
Drum
Island.
I'm just writing it in.
Yeah.
Whole Cake Island and Romance Dawn.
Whole Cake Island.
Whole Cake Island.
Sabaody Archipelago or Dressrosa?
Ooh.
Sabaody.
Yeah,
Dressrosa.
Sabaody.
Steve was saying Dressrosa?
I said Dressrosa.
I'm a little surprised by that one. Okay. Well, Impel Down or Davy Back Fights?
Impel Down.
Davy back
fight.
What? Okay, I respect it.
That's how it's just 2 out of 3. That's how we're playing this. That's a tough one for me. I don't even know. I have to think about it. So we had a whole. Sorry, I'll make one interjection. We had a conversation with this arc with Kat Abughazaleh because she did not like the Davy back fights. Was trying to explain that the manga is much better for that. The anime sucks because they do the roller derby.
The anime's still
shit
good. The roller skate one was good.
I don't mind either. It's funny. I think Impel Down has more highs, like more cool moments.
Okay. All right.
See, I kind of like the local high stakes. You know, like it's relatively to the rest of the series, it's low stakes, but like
I agree
in the moment. Like the amount of drama, the amount of drama that you can pull out of something really minor is cool.
I think it feels like a filler arc if you're an anime only watcher, and Anyway, Thriller Bark or Egghead?
Thriller Bark.
Oh,
tough one. The new ones are randomly seeded, so that gives it a little more interest here.
Wow.
What's sadder, the Laboon flashback or the Kuma flashback?
Oh.
Can you just do a flashback for the arc though? Like,
well, I'm just saying, like, what's like
Brooks flashback, Oris fight, all the great jokes.
Oh, that's really close.
I say Egghead.
I'm gonna say Egghead too. That's really tough.
That's
is
the toughest one.
That is a tough one.
That's a razor's edge.
Oops,
for me.
I wrote it in the chat instead of in here. Okay. And I'll tell you, 13-14 gets bumped to the next round, so we'll get those
Gotcha.
soon. Baratier and Punk Hazard.
Ooh,
So these get more interesting.
that is interesting. That's
Baratier.
I'll say Baratier too.
Steven,
I think
froze,
Baratier.
So I hope.
That's a tough one
Well,
though too.
you both said Baratier, so
I'm saying it too. Yeah.
I mean that's enough. Should we wait for Steven to come back to finish?
Yeah. Where do you go?
Is he frozen for you too, or just me?
He's just a black screen.
He's there for me.
He's there, but he's frozen.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Now he's gone.
Okay, let me.
Coming back.
Steven,
There he is.
Perfect timing.
That was
Yay.
weird.
I said Baratier versus Punk Hazard, but we already had two there, so
Yeah. I said Baratier.
okay. Here we go. Water 7 or Erlong Park.
Water 7.
Water 7. It's tough.
Water
Arlong's
7
obviously
and
great,
East Lobby, I should say. Yeah.
but Water 7.
Yeah.
Would you choose that on your own, Steven?
Arlong Park over
Or Water 7?
or Water 7? I think I have to still give it to Water 7. That's very, very
this is where it gets. I don't know my answers for some of these. Alabaster or Jaya Skypea?
Oh,
Skype up. Easy.
Skypea.
Skypea.
I should have mixed
that
up
feels
these
wrong.
seeds. I should
Yeah.
have mixed up the seeds more, but I did this very quick, so you blame Alex. Paramount War and Wano.
Paramount War.
Wano.
Tiebreaker, Steven.
I think Wano.
Yeah.
Wow, that one surprised me.
This is great with 3 people. This goes
I
by
love
fast.
It does. This is how we should have done it.
Yeah.
Drum Island. I'm gonna mix up the. When we do this more seriously, I'll.
We do this in actual March.
Yeah, it's a good.
Not
It's
with,
a good. This
not
is
with
like
these
a beta.
weirdos.
Drum Island or Whole Cake Island.
Whole cake.
Oh,
I
might give it to
disagree.
Drum. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't win, but I vehemently disagree. I should really. I love Whole Cake
you
Island.
love Chopper. You love the Chopper stuff a lot.
Yeah, that Drum Island's perfect. I think.
Yeah.
It's a
Drum Island,
little
yeah.
gem.
Yeah, it is just.
Drum Island's good, but like I have so much.
We'll see how the
No-
live action
no
does
fat.
it.
I
But
owe so much to Whole Cake.
Yeah, Whole cake is a really
Just,
special
like,
arc to me too.
yeah.
So
Very tough one.
Okay. We did Sabaody. Oh, Sabaody and Davy back.
Davy back.
I like how Impel Down offended you, and
Yeah.
That's not.
Saboody's so tough because it like ends halfway, like in the middle.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, like that's
This is
one
the
that doesn't
point.
have like a.
It's kind of the cool thing about it, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah.
So Sam
I
or
think
Steven?
Sabaody. I think I'm going with.
Okay, Steven, you're the tiebreaker again.
Oh man. Yeah, I might say Sabaody.
There you go.
Okay.
Ken's wrong. Egghead or Baratier?
Egghead.
Ooh.
Baratier.
It's just so hard to compare those two.
yeah,
Those are so different in every single
Yeah.
way and form.
I'll give it to Egghead.
Okay.
Damn.
Sam, I'm sorry you're wrong that time. Okay. The bye, I didn't realize, gets 2 rounds. Again, I'll work out these kinks. This is why we do these things, right? And it's Alex's fault, as I mentioned.
Alex's fault.
Yep. The terror of Zach Logan continues. Water 7 or Skypiea?
Skypiea.
Oh.
Remember, it's Water 7 Enies Lobby and Jaya Skypiea.
So they each get their lesser halves with them.
What?
I'm just rage baiting.
Do you
at this
want
point.
to like organize? Do you want to like meet up and fight?
I would love to fight you. Let's do it. Let's do it for charity.
Yeah. We'll do a John Mulaney style.
Ken would rather see Zorro chop up a bunch of randos than Blackbeard's like people's dreams never end scene from Jaya.
Yeah, Jaya I love. Like, even separate, I think.
Jaya rules.
The scuba diving, the ship falling from the sky all counts in that.
Like, me and Sam...
Seeing the silhouette wrapping up the whole thing... Like that's so much. Like and like I went into it. I went into Skypiea like basically forgetting Jaya. I was like, oh, that's probably not coming back up. And then when like they revealed all the stuff that was all tied together, oh my god.
No, that's why I like when it's tied together. That's why in my mind those are. Yeah, I get it.
We're not having a discussion about the discussion
because there's only 3 of us. Like me and Sam could literally just like bond to like we could just take Skypiea all the way if we wanted.
Wait, have we voted yet?
No, you haven't voted yet. Water 7 or Skypiea?
But Sam said Skypiea, and I could say Skypiea as well.
Okay, so there you go.
I think I choose Water 7, but yeah,
that's fine because this proves. I think what was it, Steve or someone said like, "Oh wait, I can't wait to see how Water 7 wins this." And there you go, right there.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
This is the key.
Wano and Whole Cake Island.
Oh my god,
Whole Cake easy.
I know you, Sam. This does not surprise me.
Man, that's tough.
This is fun to do with just like a small group because it's completely like it's
very
the more
unambiguous.
People you have, it's the law of averages.
Right. Yeah, I might give this one to Whole Cake Island just because it's short. Compared to Wano, anything is short.
I love Whole Cake. I don't like voting against the arc where I lose Yamato. But yeah, I think
I don't know what I would choose there. I haven't been able to look at those arcs from a 30,000 foot view, and that's kind of why it's like hard because we were so inundated by the
Whole Cake has a lot with a smaller crew in Whole Cake. You have the Sanji and Luffy fight, like them getting back together. The stuff with Capone is so good. It made me love and care about Capone.
Yes,
I love that the whole like second half is like this like built around this like chase and like these
on the sea
multi-pronged different kind of like different types of battles.
It's like
the
Fury Road.
Luffy fight is so good.
Yes, I love that.
Whole Cake, definitely Whole Cake.
I don't know, but I also don't love Gear 4, and I do love Gear 5.
Gear 4 is good.
I mean, Snake Man, I guess, is one of the better of the Gear 4 stuff, but okay.
Snake Man's okay. Just
it's
as soon
fine.
as we have Gear 5, that's the thing. Once we have Gear 5, now none of the other like gears, they don't. I don't say they don't matter that much to me, but
they don't have that same.
Yeah,
spice.
It's like okay. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're almost there. Sabaody versus Egghead.
Egghead.
Sabaody.
Egghead
doing very well here. Of like the newcomers. But speaking of newcomers, Elbaf or Zoe?
See, this is where like to me, like I don't. Zoe is just not an arc to me. But I guess it's like no.
Then it works
that
perfectly.
That was tough. That was
Sam. It works perfectly for you then because Elbaf is also not an arc because it's not completely
it's not done. Yeah.
So this is like the incomplete bracket that gets a buy.
Like I guess that one's.
We're buying Elbaf futures here.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I'd vote Elbaf in this situation.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I'll go for Elbaf.
Okay, that means
after last week's chapter, I'll say Elbaf.
Our semifinals: Skypiea or Whole Cake Island. This is Sam's like Waterloo. This is
Whole Cake.
This is like my 1 and 2. I think it has to be Skypiea in the end.
Yeah, for me, this is Skypiea.
Okay.
Okay.
Versus, because of the way I made this for some reason, Egghead and Elbaf.
I don't understand the difference.
How did those last two slip in at the very end?
Too many buys because I did that accidentally.
Oh, they were part of the random buy system.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was an odd number.
You see, Dory and Brogy were on Egghead, so they carried over to Elbaf. It's actually all one arc when you think about it.
Shut up.
They both start with E.
Yeah. Between those,
I'll say
two,
Egghead.
Egghead because it's complete.
We have recency bias and non-recency bias. Skypiea or Egghead? Say it together.
This is the final two?
Yes, this is the final.
Okay. On the count of 3, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Water
Skypiea.
7.
Zach, come on.
Skypiea. My Skypiea.
All right. There we go.
We did that in 10 minutes.
That was great.
That's how we should do that.
For now on, for now on, if you ever do brackets like this, it has to be lightning round, 3 people.
The white smoke is going up. We've elected Skypiea. Skypiea is the new pope.
Jaya Skypiea. 1 arc. 1 arc.
Saint Skypiea.
The winner. It was
Everyone
one
is
island.
very happy
Why can't
about
it be
this.
1 arc?
I'll praise the commie.
That I hate. That's my least favorite
Yep.
localization.
That's true.
Yep, that's a bad one.
That was a poor choice. Yeah.
That really hurts to this day, and I don't know what you could do to get Alexi to reprint those, but
yeah.
I know he personally prints
I'll
them.
rebuy all the volumes and refill my shelf if you change everything.
It's funny how the card game uses NL as a spelling, but it still uses commie.
Is it really?
My hands are. Why? Why that choice? That'll do it. We'll be back next week with, what is it, chapter 1175, I think. Thank you.
It's one of those numbers.
What does that mean? Why
In
did I
that
just
range,
Google
yeah.
1175?
1175, yeah. Next week is 75.
Oh, so that's what happened in the year 1175. Yeah, no, that's what it was. That'll do it. We'll see you next week, everyone. Fuck ice. My name is Zach. And goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.